Okay, well, impressively, both of those are wrong. So let's, well, playing some Enter the Gungeon. No, not Escape from Tarkov, good lord. Not a 31-year-old straight dude who has a weird hard-on for Russia. Alright. The heck is this? Game Capture HD. What the? Don't dox you. Mer, I'm pretty sure... Well, A, I'm pretty sure you're not in your 30s yet, and B, I'm pretty sure you're not weird about Russian things. Which, like, you know, not to stereotype, but I do feel that that is who Escape from Tarkov is made for. Okay. We're flying, no, hold on. The right expression will come to me. It's not flying by the seat, it's not flying blind, and it's not riding by the seat of your pants, because that's, you know, a writing thing. We're playing it by ear here, because, like, I'm a little bit late, because I got back from the store. Solo? I am solo at the moment. Shredney, at the very least, has assured me that she will be here. I'm not sure about my two other co-hosts. We're about to find out. I do apologize for the extra setup this evening. What is a Game Capture HD properties, and why will it not close? Solo is the best Jason Derulo song. I like that one where he stole the whole chorus from Cheap Trick. But, you know, that's not even really like a knock on Jason Derulo, because I doubt he writes his own music. I actually like Jason Derulo's singing voice quite a lot. It's just he's, you know, one of those pop people who seems to only pick, like, mostly pretty bad songs to sing. What is all of this? Go away, Xbox Game Bar. I still don't know what this Game Capture HD thing is. Hopefully it doesn't, like, mess anything up. Anyway, I'm by myself for the time being, but do not let that distract from the fact that we are live. Give me just one quick second. Why? I should play Shadow Tower? You know, like, a year ago, I would have said, like, absolutely not. But at this point in this stream's life cycle, who the heck knows? Anyway, welcome to Shapes and Forms. It is, wow, I said forms weirdly that time. It is 8 p.m. in Chicago, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And I am joined today by nobody at the moment. Because all of my co-hosts are preoccupied with various things. However, Shredney has assured me that she will be back when she is back from running errands, so we won't be by our lonesome the whole time. In the meantime, though, I'm going to play some Enter the Gungeon. And you can't stop me. How do you feel about that? Have I killed the things that you want me to murder yet? Pog. Okay, so I guess somebody does get those notifications. I have literally just had the word Pog as the go live notification for like a month. Peggle 2! God, I fucking love that video. Also, hello, wow, that is not how you say that name. I turned into like a dwarf for a second. But yeah, man, Enter the Gungeon is such a weird game for me because, like, I don't think there's any other game that I've played this long and I'm still like I'm not even close to have gotten everything done in this game. There's like a whole extended end game I've just never seen. There's a character I don't have unlocked. And I've owned this game for like 4 years. It's just weird, like, there's not many other games I can say that about. This one's got quite a lot of replayability. And it's still a good time. You're only halfway through the Man with the Magic Eardrum series? I thought you were almost done. I'm so sorry, Mur. That, like, if I can level with you, that occasional segment where we like just read, well, Tredney reads the really long summaries of that book is like both my most and least favorite thing we do on this show, because on the one hand it is extremely fucking funny, on the other hand it's so it just grinds the show to a halt. But you know, you get what you was like, there's good and bad things about it. In all seriousness, it was probably my favorite recent thing we've started doing here since like the turn of the year. You feel that way with Isaac? See, I would probably be in that position with Isaac, but with Isaac, I just downloaded a completed save file off the internet. Because, like, that game, I'm just not interested in the progression at all. For whatever reason, like, I just want to be able to play it like an arcade game. Also, I've actually, like, beaten the extended end boss in Isaac a number of times. I have never even gotten to... I think his name is the Gunlich in this. It tells you how little I know. I don't even remember what the boss's name is. I think I've, like, seen a picture of him. Like, I'm just not involved in the Gungeon community at all. I think Isaac itself kind of burned me out on communities for games like this, because they tend to be a little weird. For instance, there are many people who would restart after not perfecting the first boss, as I failed to do just now. Whereas I think that that's A, just kind of anti-fun, and B, not very engaging to watch. This sprite fucked up for a second there. Did you guys see that? Oh, hold up. Hold up. Oh, that was freaking Clyde the Discord robot telling me I got booted because I was in a call by myself for too long. Yeah, I did the same thing, Mer. I think the early game progression is Isaac is good, it's just at the end it gets boring. Yeah, that is basically also how I think. By the way, I'm gonna mention this a couple times throughout the course of this evening, but unless something goes horribly wrong, I am going to be streaming Pathologic 2 tomorrow at around this same time, possibly a little bit earlier in the day. That was gifted to me by our good friend Mur, friend of the channel and friend of mine. Although, to be honest with you, small enough operation that there's really no distinction between the two. But it's just fun to say, like, friend of the channel. Makes me sound like a big shot. Yeah, you guys know what I have no tolerance for is, like, streamer inside baseball stuff. I tried, you know, I love the guy, but I tried watching Northern Lions' new, like, podcast thingy where they talk about, like, the ins and outs of Let's Playing and streaming as, like, a business, and I just kind of, just not my cuppa whatsoever. I like that with any industry, though. Like, I don't like friggin', what the heck is the name of Joe Budden's podcast? It used to be everyday struggle, now it's something else. Anyway, point being, it is, you know. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one, Murr. I sort of wish when it was a thing that, like, weird people on the internet did instead of a huge business. Like, I think it's fine. No, Joe Budden, the rapper. No relation, as far as I know. It only has 12 ammo? What's going on here? Huh. Oh, it recharges itself. How interesting. Joe Biden's podcast is the Malarkey Minute. Does he actually say malarkey as much as the legends say that he does? Apparently things I hear on Twitter are now the legends. Runaway guys versus the Game Grumps. Honestly, I don't know enough about either group to meaningfully comment, but if that is a comparison you think is apt, it probably is. It's this campaign slogan for some reason, dude. The guy really does think that we live in like 1992. But that's enough about Joe Bitchton. That's not even a good pun. They suck at following instructions. That's every Let's Player. That's me. The Pathologic stream tomorrow is gonna be intensely frustrating for some people. Because, well, I mean, honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about Pathologic, and I know that it's very well regarded, but one second, folks. Sorry, anytime I have to pause and you hear clickety-clackety sounds, that's exchanges happening in the Shapes and Forms group chat, which, speaking of politics, still has that Sayaka Miggy 2020 thing that one of us made. It might have been me as the icon. You know too much about the Game Grumps. I mean, it's weird. Like, I feel like everybody in my age group has one, like, internet person that they've followed for an unreasonably long amount of time. Or at least one. Some people have more than one. For me, it's Northern Lion, who I have been watching since I was in college in, like, 2014. You know, this controller that my girlfriend got me is great, but the USB cable I use to plug it into the computer is a little bit wonky, so sometimes it will just come unplugged. If that kills me at any point during today's Enter the Gungeon shenanigans, I will, in fact, do a big yell. You unfollowed half the people you used to do that with because they didn't like Alien Covenant. Look, stick to your guns. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I have never seen Alien Covenant, so I cannot comment. But, you know. There's very few things. I got sort of annoyed yesterday, and this is now very inside baseball about a different practice, which is anime criticism. But I got slightly annoyed yesterday. This was, like, very silly, in my opinion. Somebody's, like, takedown of Demon Slayer sitting at, like, 90 upvotes on Analyst, and I'm just like, there's not many things that are worth that level of needless vitriol, and I certainly don't think that Demon Slayer is one of them. Movies are good, yeah. Yeah, I have literally never. I don't think I've ever seen Game Grumps anything. I know like a little bit about them. The thing that always trips me out is that one of them is Ego Raptor, who was a guy that I used to hear about back in like 2008 because he did like weird web animations or something. I think it's been a long time. I don't remember too well. You're watching G Gundam? Are you enjoying it? I don't know. Win would kill me for this. I don't know which one G Gundam is. Which one's G Gundam? Is that one of the older ones? It has a mummy Gundam. I see. Oh, it's that one. Okay. it's the ridiculous one. I understand. The super robot one that's like real divisive. It's also the one that Shining Finger is from, right? I find the phrase Shining Finger just really funny for some reason. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. I'm gonna take a sip of my Diet Coca-Cola. Here's my number one streaming tip, which you shouldn't take because I've been doing this for several years and I have a core audience of like 20 people. When I stream, I have some sort of caffeinated drink, usually soda, but also water, because staying energetic and staying hydrated are both important. That's a tip from me to you. This hand of mine glows with an awesome power. I have been I did a friggin' Twitter meme about a week or two ago, of all things. It was like the last TV show you watched and the last game you played have been combined. What is the resulting creation like? I got Heartcatch Pretty Cure and Slay the Spire, and I really want that to exist. But also, there's already a lot of really not very good Slay the Spire clones, so I'm not gonna make it. There are a couple Pretty Cure games, actually, but I don't think any of them are particularly well regarded. They're mostly games for, like, real young kids. And there's, like, a mobile game that's, like, some kind of match 3 thing. Which is all well and good, but not exactly worth breaking out the, what the hell is it called? QApp. That thing that lets you play, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean Android apps without changing your phone's region or what the heck else you'd have to do normally. But yeah, I got a new controller as my birthday present, and I gotta be honest with you, it's nice. It's a blue Xbox One Elite controller, and, you know, I love the DualShock, but I think I like this a little bit better. Like, I had been using a DualShock for so long that I kind of forgot that I really liked the thumbsticks on Xbox stuff. The D-pad, I think, is kind of about the same. They got some different strengths and weaknesses. Oh, cool. Shreddy's here. Now I can stop reviewing my controller and pretending that that's engaging commentary.
Oh.
Hello.
So are we live?
We are.
Okay, you should put the screen share on then.
Hey, Shreddy. Fucking return to the ocean. I got the screen share. Are you happy now?
Okay. It's just the yeah, but I thought, but are we on stream?
Yeah.
Then what are we doing?
I just have the thing up because I thought it would be funny.
Okay.
Hey Shreddy, can you describe this image to the people? I would like you to do that while I play Untitled.
That is, I believe, an amphitheater attacking a dirigible.
And what does the caption say?
I can't remember what the caption said. Show it again.
caption says pretty much a worst case scenario.
Yes. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Really, really good. An amphitheater, if you are not familiar, is like a snake dragon.
Yeah, they're snakes with wings.
Yeah.
Although in this case it is an unusually large one with very tiny wings. And it's about as big as a blimp, and it is attacking said blimp or zeppelin, actually, I assume.
Pretty much a worst case scenario, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably.
I just wanted to bring that picture up because I really like it, and I don't know how to describe why. Also, Maya, to answer your question, like, channel points have been engaged, like, enabled on the channel for months, and no, I have no idea what they do. I know Lexi has a ton of them, and she's proud of that, which is cool, but I have no clue what they do. No idea whatsoever.
Could you repeat that? My brain went...
Repeat.
Sorry. The last thing you said.
Oh, I was talking to Maya.
Oh.
About how I have no idea what channel points do.
Yeah.
They're kind of a mystery.
Me neither. Yeah. I'm even less plugged into this whole knowing how Twitch works thing than Jane is.
Like, I think you can somehow
blimps
use them...
are... I don't know. Are blimps immune to venom? I assume that, like, okay, here's my theory, is the reason why the Hindenburg went down was not because it was filled with hydrogen, but because it had an aluminum oxide outer coating on its, sort of inflatable, hard exterior, and
the membrane.
And then that burst into flames and exploded. Now, I assume that if the venom were the kind that has that kind of chemical reaction...
Hey, Shredney?
Yeah?
That was a hot take.
I mean, it's a pretty cold one given how long ago the Hindenburg went down.
but explosion.
Yeah. But so, yeah, I was thinking that the okay, do we, since amphitheaters are technically in the same category as drakes, then are they fire aligned?
That's a good question. That's a question for, like, somebody who's played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Speaking of
because if they're fire aligned, then possibly the venom would interact in a way that would cause the exterior to burst into flames, which could be very dangerous.
Could be very dangerous.
Indeed. Japanese kobolds or Western kobolds? Like I'm gonna need to like see some pictures.
I don't know what Japanese kobolds look like.
I mean,
it's like presumably they're in like Berserk or something, but I'm just not. The Hindenburg went down.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to tell you about this, Maya.
This might be my favorite comment we've gotten in the chat in like 3 weeks.
Possibly in years, honestly.
Which is not to disparage anybody else, but...
It's just a really good comment.
The Hindenburg went down? Oh no!
Yeah.
Is that why the stock market's going down?
No, that's the Spanish influenza.
Alright. Careful, we're getting dangerously close to being real. Capital R.
Yeah.
But, like, hello,
Motel
Alice.
in Knoxville.
Yeah, Alice is on a roof.
Wow. Yeah,
what is Knoxville like?
That sounds like some, like, real, like... There is a really dark country song that's gonna just emerge out of this, is, like being in a motel in Knoxville.
From a hotel in Knoxville? I could see
motel in Knoxville.
That's true.
Like, Alice, are you wearing a slinky red dress and holding a gun? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yaha, yaha. That's a different kind of dark country song. Also, Murr earlier asked what Dungeons and Dragons monster you most want to date.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I think that Murr is referring to that there seem to be different sorts of kobold designs, and generally D&D kobolds and gnolls are good.
Yeah.
Like, gnolls
here's a real brain scratcher
strong.
for you. They sure are, Shredney.
Also, can't remember what the name of this. I think that they may just be referred to as lizardmen, but I think they have a technical name.
Oh, they're cute. No, I know who you're talking about. Let's take a look at Japanese kobolds. Oh, they're like dog people.
Oh, they're good too. Okay.
Wow, I'm glad I didn't bring that up on the actual stream.
I forgot about that.
That's like borderline not safe for work.
It's only borderline.
They're in their boxers.
Yeah, but it's that's
you know what's gonna happen
rather than explicit, as they say on the Borus.
You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna forget to close that, and Cherry's gonna come home and see that on her computer and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" That's what's gonna happen.
Honestly, that
she would not
seems way more Cherry than you.
All right, well, there's no need to call my girlfriend out on stream, but
I was saying that with great affection.
I know.
Honestly.
This is like the medical room. You don't get that room very often. Here's a real head scratcher for you. What Enter the Gungeon monster do you want to date?
Oh, let's see. There are a couple of those bird guys with the guns.
Like the buff seagull man?
There's also at least one. There are a couple.
The one that's a bullet. Thank you, Maya.
Oh dear. Or there are those random mages, and I always find those costumes adorable.
Oh yeah, the ammo mancers or whatever the heck they're called.
Yeah, just like. And I don't know what's under the hood. It could be very smoochable.
There might just be nothing under the hood. Maybe it's just a hood. Like,
I think they do have, like, little eyes that poke out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's just, like, a hood and some glowy points.
And there's, like...
Is Dragon Ball just full of kobolds? Oh, yeah, the mayor in Dragon Ball Z. He's a dog. I forgot about that. Or, like, the president or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Murr, would I smooch a Namekian? Possibly.
I mean, they're just green dudes. I don't think that's even like.
Wait, no, I'm confusing them with the cat people.
Oh no, Namekians are Piccolo.
Oh, nah. Well,
really? Maybe. That surprises me actually, because they're just green dudes.
Yes,
with like weird little antennas, admittedly, but.
But I think the problem is that most Dragon Ball characters are just very buff, and that is not.
Well, that's fair, but Murr didn't ask specifically Piccolo. It could be like.
Okay, that's true, but it's just that's the first image that popped in, so that's why it's a maybe. Because if there was a greater variety,
I think there canonically is. It's just like none of them are important to the story because it's a shonen series.
Actually. With that in mind, sure.
Hey, here's a concept for you. Dragon Ball dating sim called Dating Ball Z.
Oh no. Dating Ball GT. So the remake is that everyone is like frustrated about is Dating Ball GT.
And then Dating Ball Evolution is the divisive sequel.
Okay, all right. I can look up what Dende looks like.
I did not know that Dende aged during the course of the Dragon Ball series, and this knowledge will haunt me for the rest of my life. Dende is the weird little wizard boy.
Ah. Yeah, okay. Let's see. What does older Dende look like?
I have no idea. Yo, this tank.
He's cute.
It still gives me problems all these years later. Yeah, think about how weird it is that Enter the Gungeon has become, like, our stream's go-to game.
Yeah.
Well, not even has become. Has been, like, since the jump. Like, we played this on our literal first show. Shredney?
Yeah.
Have you fallen down a rabbit hole of looking at Namekians?
No, I was just observing something that you had mentioned on the heap. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on stream, but that sure is something, huh?
That's like some 90s fandom shit right there.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
that. Like, okay, yeah. No, that's... Again.
I was talking about, yeah, like...
Yeah, the thing that I found on Tumblr, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
that was like... Wow.
Just... I was surprised to see that last night when I was looking for, like, fucking ship art of Akira and Yukari from Pretty Cure a la Mode.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. People are fucking weird.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're
gonna move on now because I don't want to directly reference the thing we're talking about and just
because it's bad.
Yeah. So Shredney.
Huh?
So Shredney. What's up?
Well, now I'm just thinking about Precure and how we watched the first couple episodes of the OG series, and I was like, immediately was shipping the two main characters.
Yeah, you and a couple other people I know. The unfortunate thing about the first couple seasons of Precure is that they were still kind of made it in that 90s mode where it was assumed that anyone watching a Magical Girl series was a young girl. So...
A young straight
girl. Like a young straight girl, so they gave all the characters male love interests who, like, don't actually matter at all, but are there anyway.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, because those two characters, in modern terms, you could not code two characters more blatantly
yeah, and then
queer.
Like, we've watched a couple other episodes since then, and there's literally, like, one where they argue about a guy. It's just, like, it's just funny, mostly.
Yeah.
By contrast, in a la Mode, which came out in 2017, the two older Pretty Cures are so dating that at one point the mangaka of the official manga adaptation drew them wearing engagement rings.
Oh, that's cute.
So, the times have changed, I think it's fair to say.
Times have changed, indeed.
I'm willing to give the original a lot of slack because it came out in 2004, which the early aughts were not a great era for that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, honestly, in some ways, the 90s were better for it.
Which is another, like, very capital S serious subject that we'll not get into in detail, but, So, like, what have you been up to lately? Before the stream, I went to the grocery store while listening to Aphex Twin's Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. That was what I did today. Shredney? Uh-oh. Hold up, folks. We may have a missing ferret. Oh!
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, the connection to you just completely died.
That's weird. I think that was on your end, because everything looks okay on mine.
Yeah, that was super weird.
Um, let me just check to make sure. Yeah, the stream's still up. Looks like.
Okay, good.
Uh, or is it? It's occasionally kind of hard to tell on this freaking thing. Yeah, it looks like it's still up. Although if somebody could say something in chat to assuage my fears, that would be greatly helpful. But
Everyone,
yeah.
spam the word Wongus.
What the fuck is a Longus? More like Aphex wins. You probably missed it, Shredney, because the connection died. But I said before the stream, I went to the grocery store and was listening to Selected Ambient Works Volume 2 by Aphex Twin.
Neat.
That was what I did today before I showed up here.
Oh, earlier I was listening to the self-titled first album by the sort of experimental supergroup. I don't know how you would pronounce the name. It's either U or Ooh.
I like the idea of the second one a lot more, to be honest.
Yeah, Ooh.
Ah, yes, my favorite music ensemble. Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like look up who's in the band because I know two of the people, but I can't recall everybody for sure. Like, yes. Hello.
Daruma.
So, members of Ooh. Edward Graham Lewis from Wire and also Dome and a bunch of other projects. Tim Lewis, aka Thighpul Sandra, who was a former member of Coil, a touring member of Spiritualized, and of Wire, and a bunch of other things.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it surprises me a little bit that I have heard of all these bands so far.
Yeah. Matthew Sims, who is a current member of Wire and used to be in a fairly obscure outfit called It Hugs Back.
That one I don't know.
I didn't know that one either. It's not a terribly well-known band. I think they were more of a local band in London. And Valentina Magaletti, who I'm not as familiar with, who has been involved in a bunch of Italian experimental acts, like Raime Tomaga, Vanishing Twin, and CZN.
You know what's my favorite experimental Italian song?
What?
Too Risky a Day for Regatta.
I can't remember what that's referencing.
It's referencing Too Risky a Day for Regatta. What do you mean?
By who?
Too Risky a Day for Regatta by who is Too Risky a Day for Regatta by? I don't remember. It's an Italian prog rock song with a funny title, that's all.
Yeah, it's actually, okay, these projects are actually mostly based in England. I'm not super familiar with any of these.
Stelvio Caprini did that song. Okay. You know what else is Italian?
Oh, they released a bunch. Raime released a ton of stuff on Blackest Ever Black, which is a really good label. Continue.
Literally, all I was gonna say was spaghetti, so it's fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm in a very goofy mood today for some reason.
Oh no, I totally. That's a good thing. I'm just oh wait,
To be honest, I still think we could have more discussion about how this is basically a worst case scenario.
Oh no. So like question. Alright then. Then what type, I guess dirigibles are air type?
what Pokemon types different kinds of airplanes have or airships have?
Or you know, like air-aligned in some respects, sort of in terms of elemental.
Well, obviously, hydroplanes are water type.
Yes, and then so there obviously exists Earth type, but are we going to get into like the Chinese element system where there's also wood and metal type?
I mean, that's not the one that Pokemon uses, so I refuse to acknowledge it.
Well, to be fair, Pokemon, it's based in the Japanese elemental system, which is fairly similar.
Wait, they've got grass and steel. Never mind. I guess
yeah, grass and steel would actually pair with metal and wood, which are the Chinese elements. But the Chinese elements don't contain air. But air is one of the 5 elements in a Japanese tradition. The 5th element, other than earth, water, air, and fire, is void.
The 5th element is the band that made "Touch You Right Now."
It's also a film by the guy who later went on to make Arthur and the Invisibles.
Also, I think I just lied, actually. I think that group is actually called The Basic Element. I need to have my Eurodance aficionado license revoked.
Is that sort of like attributing Sandstorm to someone other than Darude?
Well, that's an amateur mistake. The Basic Element are actually kind of obscure nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair.
I gotta touch you right now. Got to keep her down so nobody hears. Whisper gently in my ear.
I'm just remembering.
And then the chorus is a guy rapping in a very, like, authoritative, like, Jamaican British accent.
Huh.
Did you know that Italian Prague is properly called Praghetti? I think that's a lie that you're telling me. Speaking of Praghetti, are you eating again?
Yes.
The conversation.
It's a Reese's peanut butter cup.
The conversation stops for a second, and I just hear. Can I have some?
I would share if you were here.
That's the rule now, is every time I hear you eating, I'm going to ask if I can have some, and you have to sincerely explain to me why I can't have any every single time.
The only reason is distance, Jim.
I know, but I'm going to make you explain that every single time. It's going to become like the least funny running gag in history. And mind you, I once read a comic where there was a literal running gag.
Oh dear.
There's also a literal running gag in Anime Guitarius. They, once an episode cut to a shot of a minor background character engaging in track and field activities. Don't choke on it now. That was 1/0, yes.
Actually, I recall that one of the only anime reviewers I follow on Twitter mentioned in one of those, like, there was somebody who was doing the sort of thing of unpopular opinions, but it was unpopular positive opinions you have about anime, and one of his was Anime Guitars is severely underrated and actually really, really interesting. And I was like, hey, my friend Jane, who writes for the Geek Girl Authority, thinks the same thing. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I think, unfortunately, what happened to Anime Guitarius is because it kind of holds the reveal for so long. A lot of people dropped it before it got, like, good. Not even good. Like, it was always good, but before it, like, went fucking supernova.
Yeah, before it went from good to great.
Yeah. That said, Heinz saw it, and he didn't like it nearly as much as I did. So, you know.
That's fair. I think it might be also on top of that an acquired taste. honest.
It is kind of the sort of, you have to, speaking of somebody who likes it, you do kind of have to be into, like, masturbatory self-reference.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Hey, it's the Door Lord who I've fought, like, twice, so, I will not be taking any criticism if I die here. Oh god.
But yeah, I didn't get to finish listening to the first album by while walking here. I only listened to half of the self-titled album. But I would love to hear another album by
Shredney, do you think that maybe we're not very funny?
I think we're very funny, just only to a very specific kind of person.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand shapes and forms. Hey, I killed it. What's up?
Just like, look, if we're gonna reference a meme that is just terrible, then we should reference that one.
Have you seen the new variation that's going around where a character will be like, and then he turned himself into a pickle. It's called Pickle Rick. Funniest shit I've ever seen. It just absolutely kills me every time, and I don't even know why. That's why I never understand anything. Maya, don't sell yourself short like that. All of our viewers are very smart and cultured. Oh, it's this guy. Now, can I remember how to drop things to actually give you stuff?
Okay, it makes total sense now, having listened to like about half of the album, that it was indeed mixed by Thighpulse Sandra, because it sounds like a Thighpulse Sandra album, just with more stuff going on. That isn't okay. It's not like it doesn't sound like musically like a full-on Thighpulse Sandra album. Like, not that it has more going on. Rather, it has things going on other than things that are typical of a Thighpulse Sandra project. But it sounds, in terms of production, like something he worked on.
I don't know who that is, but I will take your word for it.
As I said, he was one of the core members of Coil during their last few years of existence. Okay. He was the touring keyboardist for Spiritualized forever.
Yes. These groups I have heard
of. And he is...
Thank you for explaining things to my small mind.
Oh yeah, he also was in Julian Cope's touring band for a long time.
Some people Julian to Cope. Sorry.
I made the most puzzled expression.
What indeed, Lexi? What indeed?
I
think that's the most honest reaction anybody has ever had to our show is just what. Also, hey, I'm at the Forge for the first time in like a month, 2 months.
Huh. Neat.
Last floor of the game, baby.
Oh, so do you know who Julian Cope is?
No.
He was originally the vocalist of the Teardrop Explodes.
That I have heard of.
And he had a very long solo career, and also he's really well known as an sort of an archivist of psychedelic culture.
I see.
And
God, you bringing up Teardrop Explodes reminded me. Remember that weird 2-year period when I was really into dream pop music? What was that about?
I mean, dream pop music is good, though.
Yeah, but like, you know, did the designers just give up on the gun motif for the spiders? I kind of don't get the spiders. Yeah, they were added in an expansion. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Oh yeah, and also he runs the site Head Heritage, which is where he does a lot of that sort of archival stuff. And reviews like obscure psychedelic albums that nobody's heard of that are usually very, very good. He's also like one of the first people to like really get people to go back and listen to the self-titled Attila album from 1967, I think, or 1968.
God, sorry, caught on fire and didn't realize.
Do you know what Attila was?
I've heard of the band name. They're like
it was Billy Joel's organ metal band
that Billy Joel used to be in.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like my planet gun, Shredney? My gun that shoots planets? Fuck. Never mind.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I was about to look and be like, oh, that's cool, and then you got killed.
I got murdered in the face.
You got killed by Red Shotgun Ken.
I got killed by a Red Shotgun Kenny.
Oh dear. I mean, is that
well?
So, if they're kin with a red shotgun, does that mean that they're necessarily a red shotgun, or is it more a philosophical and spiritual thing?
Shredney?
Yeah.
You are definitely the most challenging member of our program. I will get back to you on that question sometime this century.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It was me talking about other kin.
I understand. I just like, you know, it's a good question. I don't have an answer.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
certainly they physically seem to be shotguns, but like, who knows?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it was meant as like a friendly Joshua, not like
a friendly Joshua.
Not like a mean-spirited jab, by any means. Oh,
you don't like For the Longest Time? I think that song's okay.
You know what's like?
You know what? Like, this is one of those things where I feel like I for whatever reason, I'm on the uncool side. I like most Billy Joel songs.
I mean, Philly Soul, like, even if you're not, like, personally a fan of it, it had positive influence on music. Like, in general.
What did?
Philly Soul as a movement.
No, Billy Joel.
Oh.
The thing we were already talking about.
Totally different. Okay, totally different thing, yeah. Billy Joel. Okay, Billy Joel. I like Billy Joel. Okay, fair.
I don't know enough about Philadelphia.
Likes Philly
I don't know enough about Philadelphia, so to have a strong opinion on it. But you know, I'm sure it's good.
It is good. Unfortunately, David Bowie's Philly Soul album is like kind of one of his weaker releases, but it did lead into one of his best periods, which was with Station to Station and the Berlin Trilogy.
Can't believe the Philly Soul is our favorite arena football game.
Oh, why are you murdering my boyfriends?
Sure, they don't say shit like that.
It's like, well, actually, I don't know if they're boyfriends. They're more like NB friends. They're like quite genderless.
What is the gender of gun, if you really think about it? Zardoz once said that the gun is good, but the penis is evil. So
they're little androgynous mages, and they make me happy.
You just don't like For the Longest Time. I mean, I guess that's fair. He does have some songs that I'm not crazy about, but I like most of them.
You know, a lot of people hate We Didn't Start the Fire, and I just don't have strong opinions about it.
I think that We Didn't Start the Fire should be re-released every 10 years, which, like, entirely the same except for the list of stuff that happened.
I mean, I kind of get the point of the song, and I do understand why people might find it annoying, but I don't find it nearly as annoying because, I don't know, you know?
The annoying version of We Didn't Start the Fire is Waiting on the World to Change by John Mayer.
Yeah, but John Mayer in general just is a nothing artist.
You know, like, I don't think that I'm cool, right? And I'm going somewhere with this.
Yes.
That ties back to this conversation. I do not think I am a cool person.
Uh-huh.
I will never be, like, unpretentious enough to enjoy John Mayer's music.
Ooh.
Like, I just... Like, it's like a good guitar player. I just hate his voice.
That is pretty much what a lot of people agree on.
It's not entirely fair. I like that one song from his first album. Rise Above, that's pretty good. But, like, his slower stuff, I just don't. Oh, also, the fucking, trap remix of Daughters is the funniest shit of all time.
Oh, no!
You ever heard that? It's exactly what it sounds like. It started as a meme from the Hip Hop's Head subreddit, I think. But then somebody actually made it, and it's just the song with this, like, fucking clomping Lex Luger style trap beat over top.
No.
And all of these, like, really loud vocal tags stapled onto it. It's so fucking funny.
Apparently one of his recent songs from his not very good recent album actually did involve trap percussion.
That doesn't shock me.
And it's about as awkward as you would expect.
I think it's really funny that he tours with the Grateful Dead now.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guitar player, so, like, it makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
And, I don't even think he's a bad singer. He's just a terrible songwriter most of the time.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's an extremely good thing. You just, like, fucking, fathers be good to your daughters. And then it's just the fucking, this is a certified hood classic. It's fucking great. Actually, I just remembered, it was a story, and I am now relaying stories from Reddit secondhand, which is how you know that we're running thin on material for the hour. But,
oh no.
This guy on the subreddit worked at a restaurant, and they let him play the music, let him pick the music, because, like, you know, it's a pretty normal thing at like, smallish restaurants. Like, and the one day, they accidentally set their phone on the wrong playlist and put the playlist on shuffle, and the John Mayer Daughters Trap remix played throughout this classy French restaurant. And I just want you to imagine that scenario. It's just so good. Like, that's such a perfect event.
It's such low culture.
It's so good. Also, Murr, that's very nice of you. I like reading Murr's retirement home stories, because they're always either very funny or heartwarming.
What did she do again?
She was asking people to sing for her, and Murr did so. Okay. And she said that he had a nice voice.
Oh.
What? But, like,
100 is a hell of a long time to be around.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did the Nickelodeon fanfare there for no reason. I don't know. It just,
yeah.
It like, it's one of
Holy
those little...
shit, wait, that woman is actually older than women's suffrage.
That's crazy.
That
Shows,
is awesome.
hey, I got a new item that I unlocked, and it's the Scouter from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's like, that's like, if you're, like, at 100, you would have been able to, well, you would have been a baby when that happened, but, like, you would have been, like, of voting age during World War II.
Yeah.
And seen, like, the entire, you know, the civil rights movement, Vietnam, the whole situation with the Kennedy assassination, God. And that's, like, before you even reach, like, middle age. And then after that, you still have, like, another, like, 50 years of crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, like, Lexi's talking about, how, black women did not have the right to vote until the 60s, which is true, and is, like, insane. Like, I always, get extremely tripped out when I think about when things happened. This one gets brought up all the time, so you probably heard it before, but, Cleopatra, the last sovereign of Egypt, lived closer to the moon landing than she did to when the pyramids of Khufu were constructed.
Yep.
Like, it's like the other one is like the last guillotine execution in France took place in the 80s, I think.
Wait a second, yeah, possibly.
Because you could still, like, request it as a method of execution.
Oh, yeah,
fairly
yeah.
recently.
Yeah, I think because I think they straight up abolished executions, which is the only reason why it's not on the table anymore. Is like, they consider, you know, the rest of the civilized world considers executing people barbaric.
Yeah. Wait, what? Sorry, I completely spaced out. What?
I was just saying
I was thinking, this is not a fucking joke. This is how much of a stupid nerd I am. I saw Lexi offhandedly mention the Ottoman Empire in chat, and I was like, oh, the Ottoman Empire.
It was still around in 1908, which was when the Cubs last won the World Series before, like, a
couple years ago. It was like 2016, I think, 2017.
Yeah, like 26. Yeah, like the Cubs winning. It was a 108-year drought. I remember that.
Yep.
2016. Yeah.
That's just funny to me, to be honest with you. Like,
and they were still, the Ottoman Empire was still around.
The Gundramada strain. I want to get that.
And it was before World War One.
Learning history the way the U.S. teaches it to know the Mexican teaching. I can believe that, like, history education in the United States was fucking terrible until very recently, and it's still pretty bad in a lot of places.
I mean, like, where I was, we at least, you know, had a fairly comprehensive understanding of, like, the bad shit that went on involving colonialism, for example.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was just not covered for a long time.
Yeah, and then also, that the War of 1812 actually happened.
Yeah,
you know,
like, it's interesting because my younger brothers, they go to a cyber school, and you know they're in in middle and high school now. Yeah, I was in high school, not quite 10 years ago, but getting there. Actually, no, yeah, 10 years ago, because I was in, would have been a sophomore in 2010.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being.
Yeah, I would have been a senior.
Point being, like, a Baltimore. What is the B word? What? Sorry, I got sidetracked. I just see Bunny come into the chat with that, and I'm suddenly very concerned. Boomer. Okay, fair enough. But like, it's just the contrast between what they learn in middle and high school and what I learned is astounding. Because, like, like even not even specifically U.S. history. Like our world history curriculum when I was in high school was extremely rudimentary. Like, and it basically did not cover, like pre-Columbian American history at all. Whereas they had like most of a year dedicated to it, which I thought was really
neat.
interesting. Because like
I had more of that in like when I explicitly took an AP World History class,
like
which was like a fairly low level AP class, but still counted
that
as
used
an
to
AP
be
class.
that used to be what you had to do. But yeah, they had like 2 big units on pre-Columbian American history, North and South.
In terms of extremely like outdated stuff, I had a class which was actually still called Western Civilization at the time.
Yeah, I had one of those in high school too. It was a history of Western civilization or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, although at the same time it did cover a fair amount of like just general history, world history stuff. Kantla, Maya,
wow.
Sophomore means about 15 to 16 years old. So there's a freshman would be 14 to 15. Sophomore is 15 to 16. Then there's junior 16 to 17 and senior 17 to 18.
Yeah.
Those are respectively the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th years of school, excluding kindergarten.
I like the British one, which is like something form, which just makes it sound like you're the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what that means. I think it has to do with the tests that you take, like O levels and stuff, but which I still don't understand.
I understand one thing.
What?
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. No? Alright.
No.
You should watch Doctor. I have never seen like any significant amount of Doctor Who.
The original series is very of its time in that it's like the BBC gave it like no budget, but it's still very fun and strange, and very entertaining. The new series, it varies, but then again, so did the original series because it was on for like 30 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the newer series, which has been on like 15, 20 years, it also has its ups and downs, especially because there was a long period where the showrunner was Stephen Moffat, and Stephen Moffat has some problems as a showrunner.
Stephen Muppet. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yeah,
Do you remember the old, fucking,
Stephen Moffat? No. Moffat would be a much better showrunner. River Song did not start out as a terrible character.
There's a character from the show named River Song?
That's a long story.
Is it now? Alright, well.
That character is a long story.
Bunny, I'm going to throw you into the Bering Strait.
Live action what?
Don't worry about it.
See, the great thing about having my, the way that my tablet is, that it cuts off enough of the chat in screen share that I'm just like, British Power Rangers? Oh no. No, that's more like Blake 7, I guess.
The fuck is Blake 7?
Blake 7 and Sapphire and Steel are two other really strange, low-budget sci-fi shows that were around at the same time that have cult followings, and are apparently both very, very good. Especially Sapphire and Steel, which is batshit raving insane.
Good. Good.
And just, like, really fucking weird. Like, we're talking more cosmic horror vibes.
Alright.
And also, like, the two main characters are, agents with metal powers, who just kind of look like humans, but don't think like humans.
Metal powers.
Yeah, they're, well, or mineral powers.
Just reciting arc names from the Prosd video, by the way. What?
ProZD video. ProZD, or,
Oh, the YouTube guy.
Yeah.
But I don't understand.
Songwoon,
I don't understand the joke.
I can't remember his last name. He, oh, wait.
Yeah?
I don't know. He has a lot of sort of joke lore in these very short videos he does.
I like the video he has where it's like
Sungwon Show, yes.
It's like how JRPG
Sungwon,
villains
rather.
are, and it's like fucking soon all will fall into darkness, and it's just like, is anybody else seeing this?
Yeah, like the whole thing about you just like the side character who turns out to be a villain is just transparently obvious way early in, but nobody seems to notice.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's a good bit.
It's a good bit.
And it's part of like a series of bits with that fake RPG, which are hilarious.
I wish I had the range and the writing chops to do the stuff that ProZD does.
Yeah.
I do not. He's like a voice actor also. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I do not have that kind of skill.
I am strongly considering like going into voice acting at some point, but I need to.
I could never do it because I have one my vocal range is this, and that's it. Like it legitimately kind of bothers me, but what can you do, I guess?
I mean, the nice thing about trying to learn harsh vocals and using like Tuvan throat singing to do it is that I learned the smoker voice.
Please don't do that.
Like, you just activate the arytenoid cartilage,
also known as the Tom Waits muscle.
Like Tom Waits does a lot of like
Who is
cartilage
Edwin?
grit in his singing.
Who is Edwin? Gang.
Who is Edwin?
Who's Edwin?
I can't remember. Can I? I can try.
That actually is kind of how she sounds in the dub.
Sort of high and very soft and reserved.
Yeah. Very like. What's the adjectival form of trepidation?
Trepidatious.
Yeah, very like trepidatious. Anyway, we're going to switch over. Timid is probably like the word that people would actually use.
Yeah, but trepidatious is like has less of a. It refers, I feel like, more to how someone does something rather than a quality of a person, whereas timid is more distinctly.
No, trepidatious is the name of my new mixtape where I just shout loudly over Lex Luger instrumentals.
While dunking relentlessly on Logic by flipping his track Bohemian Rhapsody as a massive dunk on him.
No.
Waka Flocka Janie.
Absolutely not that either. These are all horrible and cursed ideas. Just want you all to know that. Also, just to bring it up again, because I said I would, tomorrow at about this same time slot, perhaps a little bit earlier, I will be streaming Pathologic 2 on my lonesome. And that will be a thing you guys can come and watch if you are so inclined. The only way that the stream will not be happening is if there's some kind of unforeseen technical issue. Yeah, so, like, the weird thing about Waka Flocka Flame is that he does all this, like, self-deprecating stuff, but I think he actually is, like, a pretty good rapper. And he still does make music, just, like, not that much, I don't think.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You got here just in time for Slay the
But
Fire.
yeah, also, like, I'm trying to remember. I think he might be the one who's actually a vegan. Interestingly enough,
there's many rappers who are vegans.
I mean, yeah, but it's like one of the ones who you would not necessarily expect. But
it always says that I've got a run going, and I don't think I ever actually do. I think it's lying to me. Also, yeah, Flockavelli, like, one of the few albums from the last decade, I think you could make a case as, like, an actual classic in terms of influence and stuff. Not that I've heard it in, like, 7 years, but, you know.
But, yeah, it's fairly important at the very least.
Doing the daily challenge for Slay the Spire.
The daily challenge.
Starting with 5 copies of a card that does not do any damage. So I'm interested how this is going to work. Also, hello, Win.
Hello, Win. That's my new joke. That
you just say hello back to people like you're a Pokemon.
It spawned off of me being totally out of it one time.
See you, Maya.
Bye, Maya.
Goodbye, Maya. What does that card do? The one that you got 5 copies of?
At the start of your next turn, enter Wrath Stance and draw 2 cards. Mysterious Fonk is a very Jane mixtape name. I do like some of Space Ghost Perp's music. I don't actually know if I've heard that record. Or if I have, it's been a long time.
I've been told that I would probably like some of Space Ghost Perp stuff, but I've never really...
Detrimentally horny. I can't disagree with that, actually, I don't think. I feel like you would like Blackland Radio, Chadney.
Yeah, it's like, it's just that I hadn't gotten around to his although I've heard that, you know, from, like, multiple people who know me who also know his work are like, yeah, you would probably like this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I have not been listening to that much new music lately. Like, I'm still behind on listening to those 2 albums that Black Dresses released last year. And
I, like, have embraced the fact that I'm now, like, I'm not in my teenage years, and I just listen to music when I feel like listening to it.
Fair enough.
Like, you know, Eternal Atake finally came out a couple weeks ago. Which is an album that I'm kind of interested in, and I will listen to it eventually.
Yeah, fair. Also, incidentally, temporarily at least, R.I.P. Tiny Mixtapes.
Tiny Mixtapes go down.
They're on hiatus.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's like, while fully acknowledging that they are not everyone's cup of tea, including yours, It's like, it's still really disappointing that, like, I feel like their reviews of things definitely came from a place of enthusiasm about that type of music. And, like...
Yeah, I mean, I did not always care for their stuff, but I would not accuse any of their people of, like, going through the motions or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like, there was, like, a passion for music to what they did that I really respected, even if they went, like, way overboard with the verbosity sometimes. And I also respected that, like, when you read a review of one of their, like, from some of their writers, like, even the really out there ones, you'll read it and be like, what the fuck is this? And then you'll go and listen to that record, and then you'll go back to the review, read it, and you'll be like, oh, I get what you're saying there. Okay, I get it now. And it's like, I kind of respect that.
Bunny deciding that Tiny Mixtapes is bad because they do not include Caro Caro Bonito in their...
I think they have reviewed Caro Caro Bonito.
In their top 100 projects of the 2010s.
I mean, they included some stuff that I did not, like, entirely expect.
Could be anything.
My friend Laika is probably very happy, who shows up here as Dark Opera every once in a while, is probably very happy about the fact that, right at number 100, I think, is John Mouse's We Will Be the Pitiless Censors of Ourselves, which is an album they really like. And is pretty underrated, in my opinion.
So, how are you today?
I am existing on this plane. Mostly.
I mean, that's good.
I had a dentist appointment.
It would have been way weirder if you had had, like, a whole dentist, you know?
I only have half a dentist. Buried in my backyard.
Bunny, I just have to say, I didn't say endorse all of their views, because sometimes they are objectively wrong, but I respect their opinions even if I don't agree with them.
What happened to the other half of the dentist?
You know.
Stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna die on this daily challenge run, so,
Yep.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10 would not recommend. Equivalent album of the day, Logic. Supermarket.
Fucking kill it. If we wanted to do... What's up?
I was gonna say there was a teleporter accident and half the dentist is in a brick wall, but...
Half the dentist was turned into... teeth.
I'm not gonna say that it's, confessions of
and I put all of them under my bed. I've got so much change now.
Oh dear.
I mean, under my pillow.
Oh no!
What? Bunny, this is not anything.
Turn to glue.
If we're gonna do the Lyrical Miracle Power Hour, we could talk about the Eminem song that, well, it didn't come out the other day, but it got a video the other day.
Oh wait, which song was this one again?
Godzilla.
Oh yeah, the one that Juice WRLD recorded a hook for before he
Hello,
was
hi,
untimely death.
I have a very boring opinion on that song, which is that I think it's fine.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. There's some people who really like it, but most people are just like,
It's an Eminem song, and it's
exactly. It's not
terrible.
Yeah, it's not nearly as bad as some of his recent stuff has been.
Man does rap fast. That's true.
Yeah, although
it's really funny if you go to the YouTube comment section. It's all just people being like, "Oh no, I didn't even finish memorizing Rap God yet. It's like, alright.
Oh dear. But like, yeah, it's like, apparently there is a point towards the end of the song where he raps so fast that the amount of syllables he fits into just a certain amount of seconds broke a Guinness World Record.
Does he drop the F slur?
No. He doesn't do that
so
anymore.
it's better than the rap. It's better than rap content.
Yeah. You know.
I wouldn't know, because I don't listen to Eminem. Because he's, Eminem.
I listen to his music, like, occasionally. So
It's like,
weird artist for a lot of reasons.
I listen to him much more occasionally than Jane does.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Like, it's not that I
don't blame anyone for avoiding Mr. Mathers' work.
I don't even seriously dislike him or anything, I just don't care.
I mean, like, last time I did care, I seriously disliked him, but, like, I haven't paid attention since. So,
when was that? Because...
when he was still using the F slur.
That's
so, like,
true.
10 years ago or so. But,
yeah.
You know.
Although, he has managed to somehow get better on that, yet worse in so many other ways.
The guy is weird. Like, it's not any other way to put it, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's an odd dude.
Yeah, see, like, the last time I paid any attention was, like, 7 or...
yeah, that would have been when,
which is Rap God. Which was 7 years ago.
Was that MMLP2? I forget what album that was off of.
Yeah.
That song sucks. I don't... Like, that's a bad piece of music. There's a fucking riff on Lookin' Boy in there, which is a song that I don't think most other people know exists anymore. It's,
yeah, that was the other homophobic part of that song.
Yeah. I'm surprised you're familiar with Lookin' Boy by the Hot Styles.
I'm not, but I'm looking at the lyrics right now.
Why?
Well, no, I'm on the Wikipedia page because I was trying to remember what year it came out.
Oh, okay, that's better.
And it's under the controversy part of the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that's I like Lookin' Boy by Hot Styles. That's a good song.
I should have just pretended I do.
Yeah, it's a good song.
So
also, it was one of the songs that fucking Young Jock was on. Speaking of people who just disappeared off the face of the fucking planet.
Wait a second. There are a couple of artists who I've liked who have vanished. Like, well, actually, recently, thankfully, they've reemerged. Was for years, Health, and you know, Trey is also a fan. Unfortunately, Trey is not here at the moment. But
the electronic.
But he could attest. No,
not dead.
But okay, so, but yeah, like he could attest to the fact that Health did not release a record between Get Color and God, what was their Death Magic? It was like a decade-long hiatus or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's slightly less weird in electronic music.
Like, well, no, the thing is, well, Health are kind of they're more of like a noise rock band with like electronic elements. Sort of, or
I always saw them in the electronic section on iTunes, so that's what I'm going by.
They're a borderline example because
10,000 channel points.
Like they're kind of like they're very they're hard to explain. Health are hard to explain.
I believe you. I just
Death Magic is a much dancier record
Sounds
overall.
like you need to give a health class.
Thank you.
Love you, Shreddy.
love you too.
Like,
But yeah, so like they vanished for years, despite the fact that they did still do shows and stuff and had a few like new songs pop up every once in a while. But like they apparently were working on that album on and off for a really long time. It just didn't come out for years.
well, the one that kills me is that Jay Electronica is finally releasing his album in like 5 days.
Yeah, that's like, how long has he been?
His first single came out about 10 years ago. Like his
Yeah.
first like major single, and it was like, oh, the album's gonna come in 2011. Then that didn't happen.
Oh,
Then 2012, and then he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth for several years.
Yeah, like
He's
he's one of those artists I know exists, but I don't know how much stuff I've actually heard by him.
he's a rapper.
Yeah.
I really actually like a good chunk of his music, but also it's very like rap for rap fans. I don't think most people would get much out of it unless they like are into that kind of thing.
Like, how so?
It's very like dense and trying to think of a good compare. You know, Common,
Kinda, yeah.
sort of broadly similar in a general sense.
Honestly, I like stuff that's dense.
And maybe you will like the hilariously named A Written Testimony then when it comes out. Thank you for the subscription, Trey.
Hi, Trey.
Hi, Trey.
I was just talking about Health, so, you know, the band.
Health.
Not.
I need somebody. Health.
Health is Skelter.
Helter Skelter.
I miss Trey.
That's the original title.
Sometimes I can even still see them in chat.
Oh no, I can almost hear their voice. The little ding happens on Discord, and, you know, Trey starts talking, and then it's like, you know, oh god, I must be hallucinating.
Treadney, you doing okay?
We don't talk about the war!
What? What's that?
That is a reference to Faulty Towers.
The fuck is Faulty Towers?
It's
Was a
British comedy show.
Yeah, it was a sitcom
I
that
see.
was helmed and starring John Cleese of Monty Python. And it was about a very semi-competent man running a B&B in England.
They have those in England?
I mean, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's where they like originated.
I was just being dumb, sorry.
And there is an episode where some German tourists arrive, and it becomes a running thing of, do not mention the war!
Ah, because...
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
You know, like World War.
Yeah.
Ziva.
I mean, part of the point is that Basil Fawlty is kind of a twit.
Yeah, no, I could gather.
Like, it is at the expense of the character.
Yeah. Basil Fawlty.
Yeah. It's just an extremely... It is like a classic British satire name to give a character. You know, like, kind of on the nose, but also, like, extremely British.
My British satire character is named Winthrop Brexit.
Let's see, I need to find a line from something I was reading on the SCP wiki.
Oh. On God.
Wait, where is it?
Ford Prefect?
Yeah, that's
That sounds more
there's-
like a place than someone's name.
It's okay. I'm gonna explain this.
Oh, I
Fort
found
Prefect.
the thing I was going to read. That's related to the British name
Okay.
thing.
Go
I
on.
did just. Okay, yeah, sure.
The two
Then
had
I'll-
been perched in the site's conference room for over an hour now, awaiting the arrival of site director Imogen Metcalf, a woman with a name far too British to possibly be real.
Imogen Metcalf.
Yeah.
What did
Um,
Evolve Plus?
So
Thank
Ford
you.
Prefect is the character who is the sidekick in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It turns out he's from Beetlejuice, and he took the name Ford Prefect because.
Wait, but I thought he was from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Shut up. So he's from the planet Beetlejuice, and he's supposed to blend in among humans. So he takes up an extremely common name. The problem is that there are about as many automobiles as people on Earth, and the Ford Prefect was a very common brand of car. So he got named Ford Prefect.
Beautiful.
It wasn't a very common name of a car after the beginning of that story.
Yeah, I mean, that was also part of the joke, was that it's like, it's not even like a car that stayed popular.
Like
for
Ford
long.
Pinto, yeah.
No, the joke was the planet Earth was destroyed.
Oh, that's
Trendy. Yeah.
No, I'm saying I'm saying also in a meta sense is that it's like it's a really common used car in the UK.
Toyota Camry.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Toyota Camry. But yeah, it's like Ford Prefect or Pinto or Chevy Silverado.
Chevy Silverado. I
am Inspector Toyota Camry, and this is partner Chevy Silverado.
A robot named Ford F-150.
F-150. Oh God!
What about a Texan man named Truck Biggs?
God
What
has
about-
cursed us and
What
taken
about
us
a
on this
Texan man named Truck Biggs?
Bruck Triggs.
Truck Biggs.
Buck Triggs.
No. Truck Biggs. You see, there are many big trucks in Texas.
Oh, say, can you see? By the dawn's early light.
Oh, say, can you see these nuts?
I would love to actually learn Anacreon in heaven to just like mess with people by like
What is a Anacreon in heaven?
the song that the Star Spangled Banner steals its melody from.
Steals.
It did. It straight up
That's
says in the
just
original.
that's just how music
Star
worked
Spangled
back then.
Banner.
Come on now.
Star Spangled Banner sampled it.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, but it straight up says in the when they made the Star Spangled Banner, which of course originally like a 9-verse poem or something, they made like the first couple verses into a song. They explicitly said to the tune of Anacreon, which was written for the Anacreontic Society, which was an amateur musician society in London back in the 1700s. As a
Oh wait, yeah, I learned about that.
and it was meant to be a show of virtuoso singing because of how actually wide the range is of it and how difficult it is and
The
how weird the range is.
of the Star Spangled Banner proves that plagiarism is It's okay.
Like, have you ever tried to sing the entire Star Spangled Banner?
I went to a Catholic middle school.
So yes.
So no.
No, I mean, actually, I suppose you might think that the answer is no,
Because
no, we had to sing it every day at the start of school.
Yeah, you'll notice that, like, what is technically called the ambitus, which is the range of how the lowest note to the highest note, is really wide. That's because it was originally so that baritone singers could show off how it was a flex. You know, singing Anacreon in Heaven was a flex. It was to show I am an extremely talented singer and very well trained.
Shredney.
And fuck you.
Shredney.
Yes.
But I thought it was an amateur music society.
I mean, yes, but it was still a flex.
Think amateur in the sense of, like, they didn't get paid.
Yeah, exactly. They were just very, they were mostly, like, you know, well-off guys who were either self-taught or trained privately, and just happened to not do it professionally because they had other means of income.
Yeah.
Like aristocrats, mainly.
The aristocrats.
Yeah, not that kind of aristocrat.
As far as you know.
Like, not necessarily that debauched, more like...
As far as you know.
Well,
fair. I'm gonna die. I'm going to throw this game out the window. Anyway, we're gonna take a short break.
The success of my country, 'tis of thee, is proof that plagiarism is okay.
The success of the United States is proof that plagiarism is okay.
Okay, that's also true.
I don't even know what I mean by that. Anyway, we will be right back. And I'm going to run some ads, and then we will read the donor lists for this week. Well, I'll read the donor list for this week. Well, here's a fun conundrum. Can't get into my dashboard? Nope, okay, there it goes. Alright. Enjoy some ads as soon as these buttons finish loading. There it goes.
Push button.
Alright, I will be right back.
Okay.
Push button is like knockoff Louis Vuitton.
Push button. Yeah, it's like, yes, this push button bag, and then there's like a very stylized logo of a finger hovering over a big red button. Huh. So actually, oh, you're probably aware of this. Is actually when I said that the United States is proof that plagiarism is okay. Do you actually know about what I was talking about there?
What?
Because I think you would appreciate this. Is the Articles of Confederation and also the Constitution are actually, their initial drafts are heavily and it's actually noted in letters and things. It is acknowledged. It wasn't fully plagiarized, but it was heavily inspired by the founding sort of treaties of the Haudenosaunee Iroquois Confederacy.
Oh, right. I had heard that.
Yeah, it's like and like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson explicitly acknowledged it in their writing, but it was mostly ignored by mainstream history experts, despite the fact that they acknowledged it for ages. And it was finally officially acknowledged, I think, by the government around the time when they decided to actually make officially
Trey.
native
Trey.
Trey.
Hi.
Thank God you're not just a Pokemon. That would have been unfortunate, because if you just kept saying Trey, that would be awkward.
I am here.
Okay.
Kai here.
Somewhat scratchy, but I am here nonetheless.
Okay. Yeah. My sister refused to get within 5 feet of me because she thinks the coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
I mean, technically, flu and the common cold are the common cold is a rhinovirus. The regular flu, influenza, is a coronavirus. So I could have a form of it without being the coronavirus.
I don't know what's going on.
It does bother me
weird.
that everybody's like the coronavirus, and I'm like, it's a category of virus. It's not a.
It's the novel coronavirus. Although the last 2 virus outbreaks.
COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID-19. The last 2 major ones were SARS and MERS, which are both pretty nasty.
SARS and what?
MERS. MERS. Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, I believe it is. It originated, I think, in the Arabian Peninsula.
Greetings.
Salutations.
Oh shit, it's Trey.
Salutations.
Oh boy.
All 4 of us are here. Oh, hey, that shouldn't still be up.
They're good boys.
It's an actual explanation for that image, but it's funnier.
They're good boys. They're such good boys.
Gonna pop open our Patreon list.
Good boy season.
Yeah.
So, on the Patreon side of things, we have Alice H, Lee C, Michael M, Sam C, and Lexinator. Over on Ko-fi.
I just dabbed twice, but no one could see it. Alas.
We have 2 donations from GoBusto. Thank you, sir, as always.
Woo!
Anyway,
oh, hey.
life is really novel right now. Oh, really novel, okay. I have a suggestion for you guys.
Uh-huh.
You'd be super upset if I just, like, played Celeste.
Let's do it.
Assuming I can get it to run in a window, which is always a challenge with indie games for some reason.
I was gonna ask about GeoGuessr,
We
but
cannot
Celeste
do
is fine too.
GeoGuessr until I renew my subscription, which I have not yet done.
Oh.
So,
but
I would
to be
like
fair,
to,
Lee
but
pays us for that.
he does, and I'm a dumbass who sometimes just forgets to set aside subscription money at the end of the month. So whenever I have some spare change, I will review that. Boot, 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 bow.
Now I'm thinking about Celeste mini pizzas.
Oh, we have those in the freezer right now.
I hate those things.
Fair enough, but
I can't remember the last time I had frozen pizza.
Like frozen pizzas, I will eat almost any brand, but not Celeste and not Tony's. Those are the only exceptions.
So the thing about Celeste pizzas is that they say you can microwave them, but you really shouldn't.
Even when you make them in the oven, though, I feel like they don't come out very well.
It depends. I think you kind of have to tinker with it.
There we go. Hey, this runs real nice in a window. Yeah.
Is it showing up on
It's
the...
not
oh.
yet. I need to add
Okay.
it. Need to add
Okay.
But will it stream?
That's the ultimate question, is will it stream?
Yes, but will it land?
Stream.
Celeste is not the sort of thing I'd normally play on the show, because, like, you know, it's like a sequential video game that you're meant to like finish and stuff.
And it has a story.
But like also, fuck the police.
Well, I mean, it has a story, but also it can just be enjoyed.
Yeah, we will. I will be skipping the cutscenes so as to like not spoil anything.
I kind of want to see them.
Well, you know what you should do then?
Buy Celeste.
You should buy Celeste.
I know that there are options for if you are, like either have various, sort of like ability issues.
Just say the word accessibility.
Accessibility. Yeah, it's like I was blanking on words. Okay, I do that sometimes. Okay. So like it has various accessibility options, but I suck at games. Period. I'm very bad at them.
Yeah.
Well, then watch an LP, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you're right here and playing it.
What if other people want to play and not be spoiled?
It is also why not a new
to be
game?
fair,
Actually, you know what? That's a decent idea. We can start from.
Okay, or could we just start from the beginning?
Yeah. My third save slot because
I'm gonna play Arc Knights.
Okay. It's like, but yeah, but at the same time, it is really. I do greatly appreciate that this game has like actual accessibility options and recognizes that a challenge for various different people is going to be completely different.
Yes, Madeline is the only playable character. And yeah, I agree.
Also, Madeline confirmed by very subtle details to probably be trans.
No, it's not probably anything.
Well, actually,
in game it's subtle.
Yeah, in the game there's nothing, but the developer has like confirmed it on Twitter. Which I guess you could argue that like, that doesn't count, but the person was like also kind of figuring out their stuff at the time, so like
well that's cool. But yeah, it's like, I mean, but I'm saying like it's straight up in the game. It's just like subtle.
Yeah. Madeline sounds like a cat.
Simply because
the
Twitter thing.
I understand.
That'd be Meowdlin.
Should I try to get all the strawberries? Why did I go down there as though this is like a game where you... It's not a Metroidvania. What am I doing?
For that, you would want to do something like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I think.
I have played the first Ori and the Blind Forests, and I didn't care for it that much.
I liked...
Jane's cancelled.
I liked what I played of the first one.
Yeah, it's one of those like very collecty platformers, which is not my cup of tea. Is all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You can't cancel me during my show. I mean, if it can happen to fucking... Wow. Never mind.
If it can happen to who?
Never mind. The joke... I don't deserve to say that joke because I just ate it on that very simple jumping puzzle.
You can't cancel me. My shades are Gucci.
Canceling me? Well, that isn't very cash money of you.
God, I fucking love that picture so much. I think I like it even more now that I've actually seen Madoka Magica. It's a very pretty game, yeah. Why do I keep boosting instead of jumping off of this jump?
Is this an appropriate place to just start mentally humming Weird Al's Eat It?
I mean, you can mentally hum whatever you want.
I mean, but because you really do keep eating it in impressive fashion.
I'm gonna destroy you with my 2 hands, Shreddy.
You're gonna have to travel a long way to do that, Jane.
Pennsylvania's not that far away.
It's far enough. Ho there, fellow traveler.
No,
you skipped the cutscene.
I don't want to spoil anything in case anybody who's like watching wants to play this sometime.
Fair enough.
Wait, I thought that was the reason we started over.
Wah.
It was, but that's the thing over there.
Wah.
Also, like, if I do all the cutscenes, the show's gonna be over before I make it to, like, anything at all.
Yeah, it still makes me go where?
You know what else makes me go last, Redney?
What?
Waluigi.
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 Okay, how did Waluigi become just a thing?
Because people
Have
think
you
it's
seen Waluigi?
I have seen Waluigi.
I think
But-
it was partly just that people think that it's very funny that they needed to come up with like an evil Luigi, and they came up with this weird pickle-nosed man whose only hobby seems to be tennis. That said, there is actually a very good fan-made Waluigi game. I believe it's just called Waluigi World. And
That's pretty good.
plays like markedly different from Mario games, or in fact, Wario games.
Huh.
Obey Wario. Destroy
Wario.
Mario. What defines a Mario or Wario brother game? That is a question.
Well, I think all the Mario Brother games are mechanically pretty similar. I've not played any of the Wario games. There are a bunch of them, but
All I know is
My
that
un- my
WarioWare
understand-
is a thing.
My understanding of the Wario Land games is that there is lots of money collecting involved.
yeah, they're like collectathons, and you've got like different abilities, I think. Which,
Also, the movement is weird.
Jane, are you actually good at video games?
Tredney, this game is hard. I don't know if you know that or not.
I do know that, but just
I'm doing fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Also, who has ever claimed Jane was good at video games?
true.
I mean, I think
True.
I'm okay at them.
I mean,
course.
she is, but I don't
Of
remember
course,
anybody claiming that.
Being skilled at a video game is not a
Immediately
requirement
just-
to stream a video game on twitch.television.
Immediately
Oh
just
no, absolutely
myself
fucking
into
not.
into the fucking ether as I say I think I'm okay at video games. But look, I'm even getting all the strawberries. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop
that's fair.
canceling me. How do you do this one? I forget.
That does
You
indeed
probably
appear
have
to
to
be a traffic
Grab
light.
onto the thing.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the architecture in this game. Like, it's very odd and dreamlike, which I think is on purpose, but,
Yeah.
you know. Like, how do you do the second dash to get up there? Suppose it's possible that you simply don't dash. I have had trouble with this one every time that I've had to do it. Would you like Celeste? I don't know the answer to that question. Is it harder with the keyboard? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part of my problem as well.
Most,
I've never developed any controller skills at all.
Most platformers are difficult on keyboard.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is my
You
understanding.
do occasionally run into ones that are developed with a keyboard in mind, but they're not very common. Actually, funnily enough, on the subject of very hard games, I Want to Be the Guy is meant to be played with a keyboard.
Yeah, that one is one of those ones that I certainly am not touching with a 10-foot pole anytime soon.
I think that the main issue with I Want to Be the Guy is that the kind of game that it was trying to be sort of did not exist yet. And because it's sort of a subgenre, people occasionally call them trapformers, where the gameplay is not so much about testing your mechanical skill or your reflexes as it is like you know, trying to sight read like just weird, some people would say trolly obstacles,
Yeah.
and memorizing them in order to get through the courses.
which wasn't really a thing at that time.
Yeah, and the mistake I think I Want to Be the Guy makes is that it tries to be that and also just like regular hard at the same time, which doesn't really work.
Yeah, like trying to be which I mean I think it could, but like the problem was that like doing something like what Celeste does with accessibility options to play around with each of those things is not
Lexi,
something that was technologically possible at the time.
Lexi, I think it's just a visual representation of how you go back to the start more than anything else.
Yeah, it's just to help you keep track of where you are.
It also kind of looks like a more abstracted version of the symbolic thing in old cartoons where like you have the little birds flying around someone's head when they get knocked out.
Little bit.
So it's like the you have to restart now thing,
Yeah. But
Which,
it's an oddly friendly way of getting that across, visually speaking. At least to me.
Yeah. Makes sense.
This game is actually quite charming.
Yeah.
It's a very good video game.
Yeah, and it's also one of the so it's kind of interesting is that the number of extremely highly rated I believe Super Bunny Hop did a thing about this, was that of extremely highly rated video games in the last 20 years, according to Metacritic, what is that it starts to drop off in the last 10 years, and that of the 8 to score over a 9 average, 2 of them were Celeste and Undertale.
Yeah.
Which both deal with similar themes, actually.
That's and
both
are fairly small indie productions.
Yeah, with kind of a sort of retro pixel art aesthetic. Kind of a weird set of, and are both apparently very personal.
Yeah.
And that's and I find that really interesting, and honestly it kind of tickles me, given that there are so many of these really big AAA productions that are so bombastic and try to do everything all the time at once. And it's these games do particular things very, very well and tell a story that is very much something that the person behind it or people behind it really wanted to put out there.
Yeah,
and do much better.
It's rare anymore that I find a AAA game particularly compelling. I liked Doom 2016.
Yeah, that's another one that actually did critically fairly well, but that's also because it's kind of doing a thing very well.
Again, it's sort of an attempt to do a specific thing, as opposed to, people call it Ubisoft core sometimes, where just these huge game worlds with a map with a bunch of icons and stuff on it, but you don't really feel like you're doing anything of consequence.
Yeah, and there's nothing and there's a lack of, again, there's not a whole lot of it that's very personal.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, the video game industry has gone in some interesting places over the past 10 years, and I think it will continue to. I mean, people always they try to doomsay the end of the quote-unquote indie bubble, but I think the actual fact of the matter is just that indie games as a reasonably productive artistic enterprise are sort of here to stay.
Yeah.
And I think that a large part of that is because for a long time, because of how by committee game design is as far as AAA development goes, you don't really get a lot of really distinctly personal stories from that side of the industry. Which
yes?
Which makes it so that indie games are, in a way, filling that void.
Yeah, and it's also like the thing is, and then even then, you don't even have to get into like auteur territory you're talking about that, because the thing is, like, a lot of these games still have multiple people working on it, but it's each of those people can contribute their own element to it and have it stand out and work as a whole, and they're able to cooperate more directly with other people working on the project without having it be just such a huge team of people that the only way like a really strong personality is going to show through is if it's being directed by someone who's like, you know, like someone really idiosyncratic micromanages things like a Kojima or something.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if you have a big team that's all on the same page, that'll work too.
Yeah. I mean,
but
like,
that's
and
not
that was
super
apparently
common.
And that was apparently actually the case, incidentally, in terms of Kojima with Death Stranding, which is funny given how polarizing that game has apparently been.
I don't care for Death Stranding, but other people do, and that's fine.
But, yeah, like, I mean, it seems like from what I'd heard about the production that everyone who was working on it kind of knew what they were going for, so good for them.
Yeah.
B-side.
It's a cassette, yeah. I know, Lexi, I think when I was playing this on Discord the other day, you seemed a little annoyed that the strawberries don't actually do anything. The tapes do. You get bonus levels.
Neat.
I forgot that one was down there.
I do love the weird, like, block of star gel,
yeah,
whatever.
I don't know what this stuff is supposed to be, or even if it's supposed to be, like, anything in particular.
It's ether.
It's weird
stuff.
Weird goo.
Like ether in the original sort of sense of it.
I guess so, yeah.
Propulsion gel.
Why did the mirror break? That's a question for cutscenes. You know, it was a really good indie game. This has nothing to do with anything, but the specific sentence, "Why did the mirror break?" made me think of this. You guys remember The Mirror Lied?
No.
Or like,
No.
does anybody even know that one? It's by the guy that later made To the Moon. Really short, weird, free adventure game about a girl with no face whose house catches on fire.
That sounds very cool. I haven't played To the Moon yet.
It is extremely strange. I honestly don't like To the Moon that much. I really like The Mirror Light though.
I've been told by people who have played To the
Moon name.
I've been told by people who have played To the Moon that it would probably be my thing.
Yeah, it would. It's pretty shreddy core.
Yeah, it's It came out during an odd time, and is very of its era, but it's got its merits, definitely.
Which is an extremely specific era.
Yeah.
Like,
man, that thing is made in RPG Maker.
I'm just sort of thinking about the whole, like, that.
It's fine, Lexi. Don't worry about it. I appreciate having people in chat talking, or person, as the case may be.
It's
Conversation.
totally okay.
Conversation is the grist that powers the mill known as Twitch.television.
The grist that powers the mill.
That's
that
really deep.
Also, I feel like I should probably start referring to it exclusively as Twitch.television now that the gag has been established.
That's really... I mean, that is what .tv stands for, if you really think about it. And by really think about it, I mean, like, yeah. By really think about it, I mean, that is just actually what it stands for.
So yeah, you're fleeing your doppelganger.
Battling, yep.
Yeah, it's just like Metroid Fusion.
It's just like Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
This game's basically just a Metroid Fusion clone.
Well, in a voice call the other day, when Jane was playing this, I jokingly called her MA-X.
Which I thought was really funny.
Those are a lot.
Now there are multiple of them.
So for context, SA-X is like the evil clone of Samus in Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
Who is actually-
SA.X
she's
implies...
legitimately terrifying, even though it's like a side-scrolling Metroid game.
Neat.
Like,
Yeah, I
I-
really like Fusion. It might be my favorite Metroid game, actually.
yeah, agreed. Like,
So SA.X, does
I
she,
agree
like,
that
play
it-
mean jazz solos?
I get it, cause sax.
Shredney, I'm going to end your life.
No,
Just-
she has all of Samus's fully upgraded abilities. So when fully upgraded, does Samus do sick jazz solos?
I wouldn't be surprised. No, see, there is totally an album which is SA-X and Samus just, like, both doing, like, Peter Brotzman style solos against each other, like full-on Euro free jazz.
Ah, yes, my favorite Metroid-related piece of media, dueling trumpets.
A trumpet is a different kind of instrument.
You just got fucking dominated, Jane.
That's true. A trumpet is, in fact, a different kind of instrument.
Yeah.
But also, can I put forward a fact?
Yeah.
Trumpet is a much funnier word than saxophone.
That's true.
I respectfully disagree with that statement.
I think the instrument with the funniest name is sousaphone.
Hecklephone is pretty...
The fuck is a heckle phone? Is this like something that somebody made in their garage?
No, a hecklephone is a bass clarinet.
Oh, okay.
I'm rather fond of the word dulcimer.
Dulcimer, I own a dulcimer.
Really?
Shows
Yes,
up
you
on
do.
some of my songs.
You've
Also-
also played it during a voice call once.
Yeah, probably. Oh yeah, I definitely.
And I
Also,
was like, what the fuck was that?
Hurdy-gurdy is a pretty solid
Hurdy-gurdy is actually... Yeah, I think actually Hurdy-gurdy is probably the funniest. Why is it called
Hurdy-gurdy
that?
is a legit fucking instrument.
Why is it called that?
It's probably like... I can't remember exactly. I can look up the etymology. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Sorry,
listening.
it's just like... I thought that things got quiet for a second. Hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy.
It did because we were all waiting for you to continue.
Yeah,
Hurdy.
to look up
hurdy-gurdy.
the etymology of hurdy-gurdy. Whereas everybody, I think that simply not that many people here this week, which happens sometimes.
It's a quiet one.
Let's see. Where
The
is...
quiet ones aren't necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurdy-gurdy apparently referred not just to the instrument we now know as hurdy-gurdy, but also to small barrel organs.
Entertain, maybe. Enrich, definitely not.
Hey, we're fortified with 7 different vitamins and minerals.
Yeah. Triangles, octagons? Nobody says that word
Oh, it's
that way.
probably it's probably imitating. I thought that was. It's probably imitating the sound of the instrument.
Hear the sound of the instrument.
Listen to the sound of the rhythm of the beat.
I believe in a thing called love.
And it probably comes from the older expression from the 1400s, hurdy-gurdy, Hirdy, hyphen Girdy, which means uproar or confusion.
So, fun thing just happened in the server.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Haruspex was making a joke about Kent Eye Collection. And in doing so, they tried to choose the name of a ship that they thought it would be absurd to be in the game. And proceeded to. And I said, Haru, that ship is in the game. And then said,
Yeah.
and then this other ship is also in the game, and they shipped the two.
shipping the ships.
Shipping.
What was the
Shipping.
boat?
It was the Aquila, which was an Italian aircraft carrier that never finished construction, and they shipped the version of her in Cancol with the never completed German aircraft carrier Graf Zeppelin.
Oh. So is that like shipping people who were never actually
Shredney?
No, it's shipping people who were never fully born, but they started construction.
Shredney? When?
That's
Shipping
worse.
aborted fetuses.
When?
Yeah, that's worse.
It's alright if you want to remove me permanently as a co-host.
I'm gonna remove you from the universe in a second.
Yeah, I don't
Dang,
know about that.
what? No, that's an appropriate response.
Jane's gonna abort me, even though
Stop
I
that!
born.
Can I be a co-host? I think 4 is proving to be the reasonable limit.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
actually not sure
Lexi's
what
asking because I'm about to be removed.
I am forcibly removed from the Discord call. What are
Cammy.
they asking me to do here?
So- Organistrum. The Organistrum
What's happening
Is-
here?
a large hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, so nobody has to have contact. Like, you don't have to really know
Uh-huh.
anything about Arknights to get this. So in the new banner, which a banner is these characters have rate ups in the
You
gotcha
draw them
rolls.
more commonly, yeah.
Yeah, I put in a ticket. A ticket lets you do a roll for free,
One,
like a single
to be
roll.
clear. Yeah, one roll.
And I was like, I might as well use it on this new banner. Put it in, click it. I get the 6-star, which is the highest rarity of the new banner, just with a single ticket. Just my first roll in it,
I want everybody
Which
to
is
be aware of
which is
something.
absolutely absurd. Like,
That is very good luck.
It is.
Although that does sort of underline the. Are loot boxes gambling? Yes.
yeah, oh no, they are.
I,
It's worse
there's
than gambling because it's impossible to get money out of it.
there's a
It's- Loot boxes are worse than gambling.
there's a
Yeah.
an episode of the Magia Record anime where a gotcha pull that looks suspiciously like the one in the actual Magia Record game
Yeah.
is shown in a gambling montage, and I thought that was really funny.
That. Oh man, I like the biting
Somebody
the hand that feeds there.
somebody has strong opinions on something on the production
I
team
wouldn't be
that day.
surprised if that like Gekidon Inokure were like slipping.
It
Like,
wasn't animated in their style, but that doesn't necessarily
But
mean
I have-
anything.
Because I bet you if it were up to the writers of the Magia Record game, it wouldn't be a gotcha game.
Yeah,
That's quite possible.
I think that, like, I do think that, like, and also the thing is that they don't just direct. I think they're running the show on.
Also, it is interesting to
Yes.
think that Mobages are as they are, considering how strict Japan is on gambling.
Well, that's like one of the
But-
reasons the format exists, I think, is because it's like by the way that Japanese law defines gambling, I don't think they technically
Yeah.
count.
Also, like.
Well,
but
yeah,
it's
that's
also
like
worth
how
noting-
they get around it with
Pachinko machines, yeah. that's the
I
same
was
thing.
about to say that
And,
Pachinko is a
I was
huge
gonna
deal.
say,
Bro,
is
how
it
do you
Mahjong
do this?
parlors?
Yeah, my Mahjong
Uh-huh.
parlors. Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Those, I learned about how those work from
Like-
Yakuza. Like, you get the things and then you trade them in for a thing, and you go around to a different store
Yeah.
that's like around the corner from the.
it's all
Parlor
very
itself.
convoluted, yeah.
There's a whole thing in the novel Out by Natsuo Kirino, which
I think I've heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's wild. I unfortunately put it down a while ago. I need to get back to it. But there's a whole bit about like, you know, like that this guy who's sorta trying to go semi-straight, who's like a former serious Yakuza guy, like, but he's involved in like illegal gambling, and he owns, you know, this club which contains a mahjong parlor, and it's like a whole thing. That's like a whole thing, you know. It's like it's the one of those semi-legal.
Hey, Shredney,
Yeah.
have you ever read the article about games journalists getting Yakuza members to play Yakuza?
Oh no, I haven't.
It's extremely good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, like Lexi, I am with you here. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to do this. Like
I think you're supposed to grab the chain somehow.
No, those are background elements.
I'll put it in the Shapes and Forms chat for you to read at some point, Shredney.
Good.
It's immensely good.
Yeah, but
I don't want to talk about the actual Yakuza.
Hecklephone is spelled Haekelphone after Wilhelm Heckel. I can't remember, who was a German
This article is
music theorist.
Oh my god. This article is 10 years old this year. Perfect. It's a fucking classic.
Okay, I think I can.
Which is why the game in it is Yakuza 3.
I think I can kind of cheat this first jump.
Yeah, like the Yakuza franchise has been around a really long time.
When did Yakuza 3 originally came out?
Yeah,
anyway.
I've heard they're good.
Yeah, and they've been like slowly remaking them. Okay, yeah, this was the newest Yakuza at the time. It's kind of old, but also Yakuza 3 only came out in 2009. So like, the first. That's okay. Oh, okay. That's because it was
Lexi,
around the.
So, Lexi,
It was
if she holds on to a thing for too long, she loses her grip, and that's what that means.
Okay, Lexi, I was just gonna say was the Yakuza. I was about to say is like the Yakuza are the fucking mob.
We're not gonna talk about
What?
this.
I mean, the closest analog.
Well, the closest analog. Yeah,
We're not going to talk about the
cultural
Yakuza.
context.
Why not?
Because I just don't want to. It's like
It's
like not a really a fun topic. I feel like.
I mean, fair.
I don't know.
It has a lot to do with the whole history of the Yakuza has a lot to do with the class system in Japan, and it's a whole thing.
Oh, I think it's neat and interesting, but I guess it does have
it
has modern real world consequences. So I guess I get your concern.
It is, but like it just don't really want to get into it. Just the thing.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the triads?
Oh no! Actually, did you know that
Freddy, that wasn't an actual invitation to do that.
No, I was just gonna say that my mom inadvertently became friends with some triad guys years upon years ago.
Well, And one day, in her darkest hour...
No, it was just like, it's like when you live in certain parts of, like, New York and Philadelphia...
I get it.
You meet people.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like she knew they were triad guys. But, it's like...
Yeah, like, you get, like, going through the weird Stargunk refills your dash, but I just don't know how they want me to get across this pit. That said,
there's one of the double jump things.
There is, but I can't get over to it. Like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get over there.
Hey,
The
Jane,
conundrum emerges.
Yeah.
you think you'll be up for a VC after the stream?
I do not know. I will get back to you on that. I think you can jump immediately after.
I got a new
There
ceiling
we
fan
go.
today.
Okay.
Oh, neat.
I get how you're supposed to do this now. That's tricky.
It's partially because
Sorry.
it's partially because so my other ceiling fan that I had was one with it had a dimmer on its light,
Yes, Lexi.
and
yes.
the dimmer on my and like the buttons on my old remote were getting too hard to push because they were worn out, and I'm very handicapped.
I did it.
And so I got a new one, but for some reason the new remote, because I guess like it was for a newer model, the dimmer switch didn't work for some reason. Like it'd turn the light on and off, but it would be full brightness or nothing.
Oof.
And so I was like, oh whatever, I'll just switch between the remotes. And then we somehow fucking lost the old remote.
Oh.
And we have no idea what happened to it.
Oh, balls.
We've joking that my mom threw it out, but I don't think we don't know. So I just got a new ceiling fan altogether. Well, also it's because we needed one that didn't hang down quite so far. Had shorter blades, because I have a mobile shelving unit for my BiPAP and my medical equipment, and if that was moved too far forward, it would smack into it.
Oh.
But now it's higher up, and the blades are shorter, so that's not an issue.
Okay.
Right, another reason was my dad wanted to get one with LED bulbs. That supported LED bulbs because the other one kept blowing out.
Oof.
Also cuts down on your electricity bill a little bit.
That too. But also, that's hardly anything compared to all the other electronics I run in my room.
I mean, I guess that's fair. But,
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is one time in high school, we lost our remote for several days, and it later turned out that my stepfather had stuck it in the freezer.
Why?
I feel like I remember you mentioning this once.
We were all so confused, including him. It's
I
don't
I was
guess
just thinking.
some sort of substance was involved.
I was
Not
gonna
even.
joke.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Was he huffing paint
No,
fumes?
don't get me wrong.
That's not what I meant.
Don't get me wrong. I don't like the guy, but it's not that specific kind of problem. Just
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Just-
I was
Well,
Oh no, I meant just on one night, just a little. I wasn't trying to imply
no,
that
no.
they had
He doesn't
a
drink
drinking problem.
at all.
Okay.
Yeah. He did for several years drink several 5-hour energies a day, which is the exact
That's
I-
actually
I-
worse.
problem.
A thing that kind of
a lot of
sparked my brain in a bad way was I remember one of those where I don't know how to explain what this made me think, but so in school there was a poster in the nurse's office about how you shouldn't you shouldn't huff paint thinners or whatever or other things. You shouldn't do huffing. There's a different term for it, but
well, there's whippets.
it wasn't just, and it wasn't
Is one term.
It wasn't specifically just paint thinner. It was just
Yeah,
don't do it with anything. But it
Inhalants.
just a weird. One of the things listed that I found kind of weird, or
Mm-hmm.
a weird thing to imagine is it's all of the bad side effects of it, or bad effects of it, and one of the things just said instant death.
Oh yeah, it can do that. Yeah. Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but that's just
Yeah, see,
the
right?
phrasing.
That's what it did to me. I was like, that sounds absurd, but like,
Instant death.
it's true. Just like,
Death
Yeah,
in a
it's
can.
like- Yeah, basically, yeah, like, if you, huff paint, occasionally, yeah, it'll just, like, give you an instant aneurysm.
so like Jane
just
gets
die.
it. Jane gets
Yeah,
what went through my head with
it's
that.
just
It's like,
you know, it's
I
it
know.
funny
seems
phrasing.
patently
Side
absurd.
effects,
It just-
instant death. Yeah, I agree. It is horrible, but it is very funny. But yeah, like I do like that from seeing the way that Lexi capitalized the first letters of an experience, that my habit of capitalizing things in that fashion I want to make a subtextual statement has caught on.
Shredney, I don't know how to tell you this, but that's just like a general.
No,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
no, but
I
I,
feel like
do it
everybody does
more
that.
than most. Like,
I see. Okay. Well, maybe.
It is most certainly a capital T thing.
yes, exactly. It's just that me saying something is an experience
go.
in that exact
Oh,
wording
Jesus.
is something I do a lot.
Hey, turns out these really hard bonus levels are really hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, yeah,
There's
that's
many
like
people
that
who
is
we know
not surprising.
Who do
Like,
a capital job. Fuck.
the thing was that
Yeah.
Eloise has been known to use the term dosh for cash because I started using that, which actually ultimately came from me reading Doom Patrol, which is so it's like a whole weird, like, when you date someone for 5 years, weird things rub off. And then vice versa.
Shredney or Gwen.
yeah.
So used to reprimanding Shredney.
Oh no. But yeah, and then on the other side of I use oofda, because, you know, Minnesotans.
Is that a Minnesotan thing? Oofda?
Yes, oofda. Yeah, it's from Norwegian.
Oh. What does it mean?
It means exactly what it means when you use it in English.
What?
Oofda is like...
But what does it mean
jeez.
though?
Oofda.
Like, no, it's like when you're like sighing,
Opa.
like, oh jeez.
Oh, so it's like
You know, like,
it's
oofda.
the Norwegian version of Big Oof.
Yeah, it's oof is from the same, like, oof. It's just spelled differently. Oofda.
Oofda.
Oof.
Big
Oofda.
oofda.
Doofda. Doopity doo.
Yeah, like, it's just oof, you know, like OOF, except it's actually spelled UFF. It's the same word. And then there's just space and then da. Oofda.
Yeah.
And it's like, whereas and it is like, you know,
I think the
but
closest thing I still have to a regionalistic tick is sometimes saying "ya" instead of "yeah."
I mean, I use
Is that
like-
because of the Deutsch thing?
Yeah,
The Dutch
yeah,
thing? Or-
Yeah.
and then whereas like with me, there's a lot of regionalisms that I have, but like most of them have become nationalist over time, but weren't when I was a kid. Like using the word yo a lot,
Yeah.
like used to be a very Philadelphian thing.
I use y'all a lot, which is not
Yeah.
a regionalism to my region.
I mean, like, y'all was more regional when I was a kid, and it was more like... That was more associated with, like, a Black North Philly thing, but because I lived adjacent to that area, and went to school with a lot of kids from there.
Y'all is weird because it seems to have independently developed in several places in the country.
Well, I mean, with the North Philly thing, it kind of people, moved up here during the Great Migration in the 30s.
I guess that makes sense.
There was, but it was still to a certain extent a thing. It's just that it was it became reinforced by it.
Hey,
a North Philly accent is distinctive.
This is a joke that the game is playing on me. If you don't, the green diamonds just give you another dash. You don't need to collect them or anything.
Mm-hmm.
This is a joke the game is playing on me.
But what were you saying, Jay?
I don't remember.
But yeah, okay. What is an extremely regional thing?
Oh wait, no. Yeah, that was actually what I was going to bring up. Is I forgot that there was a weird period of time when everybody was saying Johns, which was weird to me because that's really Philadelphian.
Yeah, that's Philly and its suburbs and nowhere.
Yeah.
Wait,
nobody
John.
calling sprinkles Jimmy's.
Oh, hey, we've done that here.
Yeah, that's a Mid-Atlantic and New England.
Shredney, explain.
Oh well, that would
Johns.
explain
You're
it
actually,
because
from
I
the
am.
area.
Yeah, it's those are the only two places that really do it.
It's there's only two places in the country that call water fountains bubblers.
Yeah, which we don't do because
Tap or spigot.
Well, like I said, there's only two places.
Everybody.
I forgot what the other one was. Actually, no. One of them is just a single city. One of them is New England, and the other one is actually, for some reason, this is weird.
Tap, Jim.
One of the other places that does it is Australia.
You know.
The two genders.
Die.
But even funnier though is because of the accent here, we call it a bubbler.
Oh no, which also would fit certain parts of Australia.
So, other than Wynn, who lives in fucking Lazy Town, apparently, do you guys call them taps or spigots? Or spigots, as some people will try to
spigot
correct me.
as a specific, sort of meaning, as in the actual bit of mechanical hardware in a tap.
Nah, the whole thing is a spigot.
I mean, we use tap for,
yeah, it's
other things that are...
Spigot is not an unknown word, but, tap is generally what you call it if you're...
For things that, a restaurant or a bar...
Tap something, yeah.
We don't say they have beer on bubbler.
Well, yeah, okay, that's a different thing, though. But, it's like spigot.
Wait, do you call, a water fountain a tap or a spigot?
You call a water fountain a water fountain.
Okay.
Yeah, water fountain.
That was a bit...
Yeah. That's that'd be a little confusing. Whereas if you're talking about in your bathroom you have a tap.
You have a spigot.
What is the generic word that your region uses for Pepsi?
Pepsi. Oh, generic a type of cola, you mean?
Yep.
Whereas, okay, here's a weird thing. What do you call a carbonated beverage?
Well, yeah, that's what I thought Trey was getting at.
Soda.
Yeah.
Soda.
So where I grew up, it was soda or soda pop, whereas here it's pretty much generally just pop.
And then in
I have my pops.
In Louisiana, you know what it's generically called?
Is that
Coke.
one of the places where they just call it all Coke? Because that's not valid.
Yeah.
There's a couple places that call
weird.
it tonic, which is insanity.
Yeah, that is insanity.
That's cursed as fuck.
That is pretty cursed, but I love it.
Never visit the South? I lived in the South for a couple months.
Yeah. I mean, same. I lived in the South for a couple of years, but I was a kid.
I was 10.
No, I was younger than that, so...
I lived with my dad down there for a little while as basically like an experiment with split custody between my parents, and I hated Florida, so I just never did it again.
Florida, yeah, I also lived in Florida. Florida is...
I didn't even live in like a well-populated part of Florida. I lived in fucking Fort Lauderdale.
Doesn't Yarn live there?
Huh.
Yarn did live there. He lives in Cali now.
Yeah, Yarn, they live, elsewhere now. But
They
apparently...
lived in Florida for a while, yeah.
Yeah, for a while they were resident in Miami, which, is apparently just, like, not great. It's big and flat and...
Like... Fort Lauderdale's a weird place. There's like more gators than people.
Yeah, like
it's not.
I lived in Broward County in Hollywood when I was a kid. So like Broward
Hollywood
County,
where?
Hollywood, Florida.
Okay.
Hollywood, Florida?
Yeah.
Yes, it's near Tampa.
Okay. Yeah. No, I remember that exists now. But when you say Hollywood, I think most people think of the one where the movies come from.
That's Hollywood.
Hollywood.
No, that is a suburb of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Which is another sprawl. So the thing about Broward County is a lot of the people there are like northerners who are like, former snowbirds.
Yeah, I was gonna say snowbirds.
Who live there. And,
there permanently.
So unusually high population of, like, old Long Island Jewish people.
Yeah.
Mixed with, gun nuts.
Yeah, that squares.
And by gun nuts, I mean that Broward County had some of the loosest gun laws in the United States.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
It was real scary in that way.
My father owned... I don't know what it was, because I was too young to have any idea of what gun was what, but it was a big old thing that he called his gator rifle.
Oh my.
Because my father is a cartoon character.
Oh god. So, like, we were generally the understanding that the Floridian wildlife generally will not fuck with you if you do not fuck with it.
Well, that was the thing, right? Because he was always very insistent about this. It was not for shooting peaceful gators. It was for shooting, something like moves into the driveway and won't leave. That kind of problem.
Yeah, although it's like, there are a bunch of wild incidents that happened around my house, like the banana spider that took up occupancy inside of a big box and scared my mother, but it was scared of her. And it was the size of a dinner plate.
Banana spiders are nightmare creatures from another dimension.
And they're harmless. They're just huge.
I don't care. They're nightmare creatures from another dimension.
I agree. They scare the shit out of me, but they are... I kind of have sympathy.
I don't even like regularly sized spiders.
I know. My uncle developed a severe phobia of spiders because when sex, a banana spider landed on his head.
Ah!
And it was very, very frightened, and it did run away, but it was as big as his head.
You know what sucked in Pennsylvania? I don't know if you guys have them in Philly. Those fucking tree spiders, people call them, which is probably not actually what they're called, because regional names are stupid, but those, like, the bodies are about the size of a quarter, and they got these really big rubbery legs, so whenever they walk on a hard surface, you just hear this horrible, like, slapping sound.
No, I don't know.
Sounds horrible.
They're the worst.
What do they look like?
They're black, and like I said, like, bodies are about the size of a quarter.
No, I'm not sure.
They got real, rubbery legs. They live in they tend to hang out in trees. Hence the name, I guess.
I've seen like wolf spiders, cellar spiders,
But the
all
thing
sorts of spiders.
the thing that they do like to attract mates is they like lay out in open bright areas to like show off how big they are, basically. Like seriously, that's like the thing to do. So if one ends up in your house, the most likely place to find it is either on a white bed sheet or in your sink. Or like on a toilet, like all very unpleasant places to find.
I know, but it's like so. There's something dopey and almost like cute in a stupid way about that to me.
It just the
like
sound
horrifying,
is awful.
but actually in kind of like an "oh, you are such a doofus"
like
kind of way.
I wish I could describe the sound that they make. It's like somebody smacking a salami into a rock when they walk. It's horrible. It's the worst noise.
But like I have run into spiders that like there was I think it was a type of like St. Andrew's cross spider that was in the corner of our bathroom at the old house. It had it was trying to hide in the corner to make itself look smaller than it was, and each of its legs was 2 inches long. Like 2 or 3 inches long, and it was in like a cross formation. It was trying to look really tiny in the corner, and it was like so scared. So we did manage to get it outside, and it ran away. But it was like it did not fit in the corner, and it shouldn't have been there. And it was just like I knew upon seeing that I was not going to mention that it was there ever to my sister, because my sister has a paralyzing phobia of spiders.
I like freak out if I'm too close to spiders. I can't handle them.
Yeah,
Spider,
well, see, I have that specifically because I can't get up and get away from it.
I mean, in your case, it's like a fear that makes some sense. Mine, as far like I don't know, I feel like I was like bitten by one as a kid or something, and I don't remember it or something.
Spiders do kind of, on a visceral level, sort of upset me in some ways. But then there are other days where I see a spider and I'm like, oh, aren't you cute?
I think they're fine if they're outside.
I have like a
You
have like a paralyzing phobia of is like centipedes and millipedes.
Yeah,
I do not fear those at all. Like house centipedes, I find very charming.
I think house centipedes are gross. I don't think house centipedes are also actually centipedes, though. It's one of those things where they
are centipedes. They're just a specific subtype.
Are they? Because like they don't seem to have enough legs.
No, they definitely do. The thing is that centipedes generally.
Oh no, I haven't sat and counted.
Well, yeah. But when they're fully grown, centipedes of various types have anywhere between 16 and 72 legs.
Well, then why the fuck are they called centipedes then? Somebody was asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, but then again, millipedes never have as many as 1,000 legs. They only have up to about 8.
Like in my brain's like, does that mean they'd have 1,000th of a leg?
Oh, hey, Bog Leech. Bog Leech is a weird internet figure because I used to, like, know him personally.
Yeah, what an odd guy.
Isn't he kind of a dick? I don't think so. He's just sort of, like...
weird.
Abrasive to people who don't like insects as much as he does, which...
Yeah, he's an odd guy. Also, his reviews of Pokemon designs are very entertaining.
I don't like those articles, but that's another subject for another time.
But I liked the fact that he pointed out that he personally likes Sylveon because of how weird it is the more you think about it. And I've also always appreciated that.
Alright, well...
It's like, because you realize it has ribbon tentacles.
You know.
Like you do.
For ribboning.
Yeah, like you do.
How in
As one does.
how in the dandy
As
fuck
one
do you
does.
do this?
But yeah, I think that I might have been like on TVT after he had mostly wrapped up his his involvement there. Either that or we just rolled in different circles. I don't know.
He was like one of those people who was around pretty often, but didn't actually talk that much.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like I saw him post like a handful of times.
But what I was just getting at is the general oddness that this person's like pretty well known now, and I used to like
Right.
know them personally. We had a big argument once because he thought that I objected to cosplay for religious reasons because he misunderstood something I said. Which is, like, in the moment was very frustrating, and at present is just kind of hilarious.
Yeah. I think that's kind of true of a lot of things that happen on the internet sometimes.
Yeah. There's also that tweet where Haru specs, like that tweet thread that gets passed around where Neil Cesariega dunks on Jontron that Haru specs is also incidentally in.
Yeah.
Is Jontron's middle name Don't? It should be. Good times.
Oh yeah, Jethro, who was a one-time Tumblr celebrity.
I don't know what that dude's been up to in the past several years, and maybe
Yeah,
that's
me
fine.
neither. Yeah, they, if I'm not mistaken, they reposted a lot of my stuff. Not reposted as in without crediting me, but like reblogged
Yeah.
a bunch of my stuff.
You guys should go to my Tumblr to look at the mountain of pretty cure art that I reblogged yesterday for no real reason.
I am gonna need to drastically retool my Tumblr if I'm ever gonna use it again.
I still go on there every now and again.
No,
Mostly
it's
fine. Occasionally
it's not-
you run into weird people.
I'm not even. Well, I mean that was always true of Tumblr, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, just in the sense that like, I feel like a very different person in certain respects from
I mean,
who I
that's
was
fair. Like
that long ago.
I never really tried to brand my Tumblr super heavily, so I just like changed my avatars and a couple things in the description.
I
That's all
never-
needed to do.
I don't think I ever had a brand. It was just that, like, I'm actually not even that I'm like an extremely different person. It's just that like, it's like
Aha.
I ran with a slightly different crowd, although some elements of it are exactly the same. Like,
Would you
I
say
still
that you
know
were
you
hanging
guys.
out with the crew in the schoolyard, finding trouble but never looking too hard?
oh dear.
Relaxing, looking all cool.
Different theme song, same energy. I do like that statistic that's been going around that like if you still have an active Tumblr account, you personally cost the Yahoo Corporation $7.50.
Oh.
Look, every time I move my arm, it costs the Cartoon Network $42.
No, you gotta say it in the voice, which I can't do, so...
Look, every time I move my arm, it costs Cartoon Network $42.
Why is that one of the few gags I remember from that show?
I don't know.
Okay, is this the voice that Mur was talking about?
It's almost there. Zorak's hard.
Zorak is weird because his thing is like raspy but like high.
You, like,
Oh, so you're gonna have
Nah.
to get a bit more. Sorry.
maybe? Like, I don't know. You have to, like, talk from the back of your throat and your
No, I
nose
know
at
what
the
you're
same
talking about.
time. It's real weird.
I would need to listen
That one,
to his performance again to
Yeah.
like nail it.
Croaker had range.
Yeah, let's see. Gonna look up Zorak.
Frantically Googling Zorak in another tab.
Or another app, as the case may be.
Same thing. I don't get it.
Frantically Googling Zorak in another tab. I don't know why. Why is it funnier when it's written out like that?
Wait,
Because it kind of sounds like a headline now.
Wait, just let me listen.
What do you mean, let you listen? We're streaming.
Just for a second, because I need
The stream is nearly over, Shredney.
Oh.
I'm fucking dying, sort of.
And the universe.
There
Okay. Well, yeah. That's just, yeah, that is,
You had it for a second, and I
Thyro-
think you lost
that,
it.
that would be, thyrorytenoid cartilage. Vibrating.
That is also something you would say.
He almost sounded like Scorponok.
It's sort of the same. Well,
It's the same
like
part
OG,
of the throat.
OG Scorponok, yeah. The one from Energon just kind of sounds like a generic anime villain. You should definitely audition for the part.
But you
of
really
Zorak.
should give me $42 every time I move my arm.
Just slow down my voice and make me Moltar then.
Chopped and screwed, Moltar. Fuck.
That-
What the fuck you lying?
Stop that.
Oh my god.
What? Why?
Stop fucking lying.
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
Lying. Why the fuck you lying?
Where is that from originally?
That's not from
It's a
anywhere. It's just a
No, I
line.
mean the stop fucking the music itself.
Oh, that's
It was
too
a
close by
line.
next.
And then it got popularized as a meme because
Yeah,
of the
but
line.
The song,
know- I
the
mean,
song
I know
that it's
the
based on is too close by next.
Okay.
Now we're
That was-
dancing
that was
too
my
close.
Because I know the lion meme very well.
Yeah.
The Northern Lion meme.
Oh my god.
Stop fucking lying.
Sorry.
Stop fucking lying.
I don't
Sorry.
understand why this.
I don't know.
Reviving old memes. That's the business we're in, Sonny.
Don't call me Sonny.
You oughta be in pictures.
I mean, really, I'd rather be Cure Moonlight if anybody. See, that's a fun joke about a show nobody else here is singing.
Congratulations. Obscure references.
Yeah.
Look, like, I mean, okay.
That's actually
It's fair play.
That's actually Cure Selene, Lexi, because they've somehow done Moon 3 different times. Or no, they've done Moon twice and the Sun 3 different times, as far as pretty Cure names.
You know, the moon's pretty great, so like...
It is. Like, I get
The
it.
moon is good.
The moon is gay.
Moon's gay as shit. Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted.
These
also
facts
gay as
are
shit.
related, but we're not ready to have that conversation yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, no, these are not unconnected phenomena. Where does Moon's haunted come from?
It's just a tweet
Yeah,
somebody made. Yeah, just like one of those, you know, Twitter humor.
As far as nonsensical tweets
Homer.
go, one recent favorite of mine has been courtesy of our good friend Drill, who tweeted in 2016.
Friend of the
I believe
show.
it was. Yes, friend of the show. Who who tweeted, I believe in 2016, Kelly Blue Book is my girlfriend.
What? Kelly Blue Book?
Kelly Blue Book.
Who's
Yeah,
Kelly
it's
Blue
a-
Book?
Kelly Blue Book is a what is it again? Like a car thing?
It
I
sells
think-
cars, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like Aaron from Esurance.
Used cars.
No.
No, it's literally a service
Oh, okay.
called
I
Kelly Blue Book.
figured that she was like the mascot or something, but it's just called
No, it's
Kelly
just
Blue
the car
Book. Okay.
service.
Fair enough.
Kelly Blue Book is my girlfriend.
That makes it better, actually.
It does.
You guys ever seen that old video of "Fuck You, Baltimore"?
30 to 50 feral hogs is pretty good, yeah.
Well, 30 to 50 feral hogs was like somebody, the first person who said that was being serious, and then it
Yeah.
became
but it was-
a meme because like.
Why
it's a
would you say that?
nonsensical thing to
Because
say.
it seems
Yeah.
patently absurd, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like such a bizarre statement.
Fuck you, Baltimore. That's right. We'll fuck your wife.
Come to Big Bill Help. This
Come to
deal
Big
ends the
Bill.
moment. This deal ends the moment you write us a check, and it better not
30,
count. You're a
50.
dead mother.
And the NBA! The
Threatening
NBA
to
is gonna
flip
shoot the
super
feral
hard.
hogs!
Trendy, you just fucking turned into like an Arkin song for a second.
Yeah, you clipped like immensely hard.
Like, brrr.
Or an Arca song.
That's
An
who I
Ar-
meant, sorry.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, or like one of the...
We're gonna end the show as soon as I clear this level, by the way, which means we'll probably be here for another couple hours. So get comfortable,
Fair
everybody.
enough. Yeah, but the feral hog halftime show. Unfortunately, I have not developed my vocal skills enough to do a pig squeal.
Thank God for that.
No, pig squeal is a combination of the and
Shredney.
the
Shredney. Shredney.
subharmonic
Shredney.
voice, and then going oh.
Shredney. Shredney.
At the same time.
Shredney.
Shredney won't stop. We can't get Shredney to stop.
But it sounds like a reap beep noise with a like really low gurgling sound under it.
Oink. Oink.
You know, maybe we will just end the stream here. Let me give this one more like good shot, and then
Maybe we will just end the series here.
just end Shapes and Forms here.
Just end it all. Just end all
Just
time.
end the universe here.
Just time
You know what?
stops right
Fair.
Fuck. Okay.
Time was. Time is.
Well,
time
that
shall be no more. Time was. Time is.
Shredney.
Time shall be no
Shredney.
more.
Shredney, are you doing the ending credits theme
In
for Shapes and
menstrual
Forms?
night.
I
when
don't know what the
red
song is, but
I
it
don't
whips
either.
ass.
And darkness crawl. So,
Shredney!
yes.
Shred
Ending the
no.
show!
That's a good song, though.
I don't... Sure.
Never heard it in my life.
Shapes and Forms.
We'll see you
Every
next week.
Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, at roughly the same time, I will be streaming Pathologic 2. You should come
Oh.
and watch.
Oh, I shall be here for that.
Yeah.
I will check in at least once because I'm very
Yeah.
curious.
I want to do, like, the actual commentary. I just want to do on my own. But if you guys want to come
Totally
hang out
fair.
in the chat, absolutely cool.
I would be like, yeah.
But, yeah, we will see you guys next week. I'm gonna run some ads.
Okay.
But otherwise we are gonna stop the show. Yeah. See you guys next time.
Adios.
Bye.
Gute Nacht.
Yeah. And if you're watching the VOD, enjoy the minute of dead air at the end of the stream here. Do 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 do. What?